And of course, I'm talking because it's muted because I'm an asshole. I was saying thank you to all of you for being here. Really appreciate you guys. Yeah, Jay, I know I'm muted. I fucked up again, but that's okay. I always do that. It's kind of like my thing. Anyway, thank you all for being here. It's week 5 of the Pit. We got tons of fun stuff for you this week. We also have tons of fun guests and all sorts of things. But the first thing I want to do is thank my buddy Rocketbite for the intro song, Light Angel. That's my buddy Wano. He's watching NYCFC right now. I have the second screen going. And speaking of watching sports while we do this, time to bring in the homies. Jay, what are the Lakers doing? Are the Lakers playing?
They're about to win the chip.
Huh?
They're about to win that chip.
Okay, well then there you go. LeBron getting some shit. I'm watching everything right now. I got the TV and picture and soccer and all sorts of stuff. Even though I have to give a shout out to Mr. John Sterling and Susan Waldman. NYC is playing in Yankee Stadium right now because the Yankees are playing their playoff games in the bubble, so they're in San Diego, right? So, but they're broadcasting from Yankee Stadium, the Yankee radio broadcast. And then all of my people are outside the stadium right now playing the drums and welcoming the players to the stadium. And they're actually watching the game on a projector that we're projecting on outside of Yankee Stadium. And so Susan Waldman asks Sterling, "Oh, what's all that stuff going on outside?" And he's like, "Oh, soccer people doing soccer things, you know." And then Susan Waldman goes, "I don't even know which one's the home team."
Nobody cares about the Yankees.
Well, no, easy.
Nobody cares about the damn Yankees.
Dude, we played a 60-game season and your Mets still came in last.
I stopped listening. I didn't let you finish Yankees.
Yeah, your Mets still came in last. That's why. Because you're upset because even with the new owner, the Mets still suck. Anyway, you've been busy, bro. What's going on? You got the setup all fixed now? Everything's okay?
Yeah, I literally took everything apart, rewired everything because I had a bunch of new pieces that I would just have plugged in, so I have wires everywhere.
Right.
And I was like, no, I can't live like this anymore. I'm weak enough with that. So I rewired everything because I got a new mic and I got some stuff that can hook up my PlayStation to Streamlabs, so I can stream that.
Right.
And then going forward now, when I do my art streams, I'm gonna have that second camera literally right over my screen, so you can see my hands and stuff like that.
That's dope.
So it'll be the first time I'm doing it.
I have my tech support helping me on Friday, or maybe even tomorrow. My sister Rizuki, she's gonna look at the computers, what we can upgrade, and I got to upgrade. So it's time to get the terabytes to back everything up, and then the camera, and then hopefully I should be able to get with the thing and help you ruin some people's days with like League of Legends and shit. I just want to ruin people's lives by playing games. I want to go into a Call of Duty game room and just ruin people's lives. It's going to be fucking great. I can't wait. And speaking of
that's what I like just trolling and just being a dick sometimes.
I know you're going to agree with me on this one, but speaking of ruining people's lives, the son of the Saint Angel, what's going on, brother?
Anybody on this show now.
I know. So Angel is now like more than a week officially married. Is she sick of your shit yet?
Listen, if she wasn't sick of my shit before,
look at his face. Look at his eyes. Just zoom in on his eyes.
Listen, blink twice. Blink twice if she's behind the camera and you can't say shit.
you gotta do like this.
I've been married 19 years. I recognize those eyes.
Bang on the table twice if you're in trouble, if you're in despair, something. Give us a sign.
Never, bro. Never.
Look, he's tapping out like he's in the figure 4 right now. Now we got some big. I know we.
How can you say that? But I got these DMs saying help me
from your private account.
First of all, Jay, I know you're not talking. You 20 years in, ain't you? 20, 30 years in now?
Mine's is trained now. I'm good. You even struggled from the beginning, but she's all trained up now.
That's bro, you even come flying off screen and smack him in the head.
Bro, you even messaged me on OnlyFans to make sure you were okay.
Whoa. We ain't talking about my OnlyFans.
By the way, Jen checking in.
What up, Jen?
Sus over here. Mad sussy.
Jen, if you're not too busy, we'll bring you in a little later if you want to mess with things. But we got a full show. We got to bring some people in. Now, Angel, the reason why we did it this way because we're going to bring in our first guest. And and you work with it. We all work with these guys. We know all of these guys really well, so it's gonna be a fun night. But oh, fine, we're not good enough for you. Fine, whatever. Anyway, sus. But anyway, we're gonna bring in the first buddy because you, with our next guest, work on the Worlds Collide project that you guys have been doing, and we're gonna do the live. A little later, we're gonna do the live choosing of the last 10 names, right?
Yep, that is correct. Last 10 rounds.
Excellent. I'm so excited. So without any further ado, the written Raph himself, Rafael, what's going on, brother? Everybody drinking out of their mugs today.
I don't know. I feel wild today. I'm not sure what it is.
I'll stick to mine.
No, wait, the quick question. So everybody knows, because I'm trying to get them to sponsor the show, we have our Wild Bill's tins here. We get them all. Anybody who goes to the shows knows where you get those. Where did you get that one?
I think I got this one at, I think it was CradleCon.
Okay, cool. All right, that's cool. All right, Raph, what's going on?
All the usual stuff, a lot of writing. The more depressed one gets, the more one writes.
Yeah, I'm sorry to hear you had a little dip in the family. We're feeling for you. Our condolences for you and your family, brother.
I appreciate that.
Thank you for being here. Hopefully we can give you some positivity. Really quickly, though, I mean, the three of us we know you, but let's let the people out there, all 8 viewers that we have going on, let's let them know who you are, what you do, and what that wonderful shirt is all about.
I'll give them the spiel. Well, hello there, Apple Bites. This is your Apple Bite, Rafael Tavares, talking to you straight from our show here.
Yo, slow down. We got 2 hours.
Now,
we got two.
Written.
We got 2 hours, bro. Slow down. You're okay.
That's just the way it comes out, man.
I don't need the elevator pitch. This is where you can talk and have some fun. It's all right.
Well, you guys all know I am Written Rob from Bitten Apple TV. We are the guys that go out there and cover the conventions. We like to showcase those people that don't get enough press, because usually press overlooks all the small great guys to look at the bigger great guys. So we like to showcase the artist that's doing something, the independent writer, the independent artist, all these independent beautiful books that are out there, especially because a lot of people always like, I'm so tired of DC and Marvel, yet they don't look for the independent, which is kind of silly to me. So we go out of the conventions, we cover the events, we like to bring it all to you. We like to showcase the conventions, how much fun you're having. We like to showcase the vendors, the artists, all that stuff that happens. And at the same time, I have my own writing show, and I've been working with our pal Sonova over there on this Worlds Collide thing, which I've been having a lot of fun creating this universe so they all can fight each other in.
Now, because we've heard it, and Angel explains it beautifully, but now I'd like to see the other half in this amazing project speak about it a little bit. And I'm even going to, while you begin speaking about it, I'm going to, if my computer doesn't, okay, my computer's going to behave itself. Fantastic. I'm going to start looking on Instagram so I can find some photos, and then you start talking about it. And then, because then I know he's chomping at the bit right now. We got to bring Mark in eventually.
All right, so, Angel came up to me. He goes, I want you to help me out with the stories on this Worlds Collide thing, because, these guys are fighting each other. And, I feel like there should be a reason they're fighting each other. So I sat there for a bit, and something hit me in the head, which is the way it usually works. And I was like, I got a story idea. I understand why these guys are fighting. Somebody is playing puppet master. They're controlling the situation. They're controlling the players. And there's a bigger story going on in the background. So
the premise is we take 2 characters, doesn't matter what universe, what imprint, whatever, doesn't matter. We take 2 characters and we jam them together.
Yep.
And we have them fight.
And I try to explain what the heck is going on.
And then you're writing. So it went from an art piece basically to now it's something a little deeper. Yeah. Now there's a story. And there's strings and there's a whole thing. So are you looking to do like a comic book kind of thing, or like almost like an art book with prose? So like short story.
So what I spoken to Raph about is we should just release this as like an art book, where one side of the page is the piece, the other side of the page is the story.
So almost like short stories with prose.
Kind of. Yep. And because people have really been digging, like they like the pieces, but when Ralph puts his story to it, it really brings it to life. You know what I mean? They could see what's really going on. So that, you know, I definitely couldn't have done it without them. That's why you know, this stuff is done so well.
I think it's always interesting to see who gets put together. And I find, you know, on my show, The Written Writ, what I usually do is I accept challenges. And this is like a big challenge because now I got these two characters, sometimes who have nothing to do with each other, or they shouldn't be fighting in the first place. And then I got to figure out what to do with them.
Oh yeah, that Hulk Hogan versus Violator and Pinhead versus Macho Man will attest to that.
The Hulk Hogan, I have no secret telling everybody. The Hulk Hogan one was my favorite. Oh
yeah!
All right,
in bastard, bro.
Come on, you gotta take your vitamins. Come on!
I feel that.
He wasn't
I feel that. It was more than vitamins back in the day. But it definitely it's an interesting concept. I like what's going on with it. I like what you're doing with it, and I appreciate it. Now, what people don't know is Bitten Apple goes around to a lot of the local, even some of the not local shows and stuff, and gives us, like Raph was saying, the inside look on pop culture. I am going to put a pin in something you said before we get everybody else on, because you did talk about indie comics, and I think indie comics are bigger than you think, and we're going to have a talk about that. We're going to have but I mean, I think they have a bigger presence now than they did, and I think it's thanks to COVID. But we're going to have a conversation about that. But we're going to put a pin in that because we need to bring on our next guest, and we need to talk to him because this is also someone that has not only has his finger on the pulse of pop culture here on Long Island, New York, and in other areas. I mean, the photo we have on our advertising is from C2E2. I picked that photo because I wanted like he looked like a gangster in that picture. So he did. He's kind of
he kind of is a gangster though when you think about it.
You know what it is? I think he might be a narco, but because he just keeps it under his hat. And I know we can't really see him, so you can't tell if he's a narco or not. But Mr. Mark Torres It Came From the Radio, the award-winning amazing show. How are you, sir? He's muted. He's not back there. So we're going to bring in his trusty sidekick and his trusty tag team partner, Charlie Saladino. How are you, Charlie?
How are you?
Charlie is there.
Charlie's here. Mark, we were waiting for you. You disappeared and stuff. What's going on? Okay, so Charlie is part of the team from It Came From the Radio. Excuse me.
He is our senior correspondent.
There you go. I forgot what it was, and I didn't want to say the wrong thing because I know how I get when the wrong thing is used to describe, and so I'm not going to fucking do that to you guys. Yes, I said fucking. It's not like I was a guest on Mark's radio show when it was on Sunrise Highway, and this is a few years ago. Now, Charlie was like, "Oh, I can't wait to have you guys," and blah blah blah. Mark is definitely the straight man in the group. He's definitely the good cop. Charlie was talking to us about having a great time. Oh, this is going to be great. We're going to have that. You're going to talk. It was a silly goose time. Mark was like, "Don't bang on the table."
He still does that.
And then Mark said, and remember, and this is fair though. I do have to be fair about this. I know I do, and Brendan, my tag team partner, a little bit, but more me, definitely do have a little bit of a mouth. And I'm sure that it was in the back of Mark's head the whole interview. Don't curse on the radio. 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 But we're just on the interwebs having fun, so it's all good. Mark, how are you?
I am well.
How are things?
Things are well.
Okay, so really
relatively speaking.
Fair. Now I'm going to let Mark take this one for a second, Charlie. Mark, I want you to tell us who you are, who you and Charlie are, and what is It Came From the Radio and where we can find it.
It Came From the Radio is a syndicated weekly radio show. We are on terrestrial radio at 88.1 WARY in Westchester County. We are on an online radio station at btd-radio.com. We're also on, I think we're now on like 28 different podcast places. So if you want to listen to us, you can hear us anywhere. Our senior correspondent, Charlie Saladino, has been with us for almost 10 years now, if I'm not mistaken, maybe a little more. I've been doing this show on and off since 2003.
Damn,
that's 17 years. That's impressive. I have the website scrolling underneath. Now, how did you get into was this something like, are you Mr. Radio, or was this something that just kind of fell into your lap, or?
So the short version of the story is, ever since I was a kid, always wanted to do comics. through a unique set of circumstances, I heard on the radio, WGBB, which we used to be on, that, hey, if you want to be in the business, talk to people who know what you want to be passionate about, have your own radio show. And I thought this would be a great way to get my comic book published.
Fair.
And so then I started doing a radio show, and it just kind of snowballed. And I guess in a sense, it did help me get 2 comic books published, but I'm still trying to get the main thing out there to do a continual thing. And during all that time, we ran into do you guys are WWE fans or AEW fans?
I'm a wrestling fan.
So Taz's brother, Herman Snertia, I used to work with him in a movie theater, and he was talking about doing the show together to give it a new name, because we used to be called the Comic Book Novice when we first started. So he, along with myself, my co-host Hassan Godwin, we came and we started doing the show. And Charlie is Herman's best friend, and he brought him on to the show. So Charlie, why don't you tell us how you got involved in our show?
He just took over hosting duties. Did you see that? Did you see him walk? Did you see him? Did you see? I'm going to get mad Puerto Rican right now. Did you see him walk into the living room you're not supposed to walk in, not take off his shoes, and sit on the plastic covers that Grandma has?
Mark is just that smooth.
Right there. Mark said, "Hold on, let me loosen up a little bit here."
Damn, that's Charlie. I'm sorry. Go ahead.
That's all right, guys. First of all, thank you for having us. Welcome, everybody. And I really got involved with my friend Herman said, hey, one guy's leaving the show. Why don't you come down on it? And I came down to see it first. And then I realized it was like, oh my God, it was very straight laced. It was very stuff I didn't know. Like, I knew science fiction, I knew B movies. I had no idea about comic books or anything like that. But since I've been there, it's been really a great ride. And I think I enjoy. I was a little quiet at first, but then I just started coming, and I realized that a lot of the topics were kind of lengthy and boring. So every once in a while I would throw in a funny shot, like Mark would go through this extensive
Rant?
rant on something. And then he would say, I would be quiet. He would say, Charlie, what do you got any opinion? I said, I'm sorry, I wasn't listening. Or something like that, just to throw something in. And since then it's been loosening up. We have a fun time, and I have to say I met a lot of people who in the comic book world who are getting by on brains and compassion, and that's, I believe, the people who I admire. The big guys are right; they're already there, but these indie guys, they're amazing because they have the compassion and they have the brain power to get a good product out there, and that's what I like. Besides us interviewing the big stars, I mean, that's my favorite part, seeing the compassion of it all, and that's what I enjoy about the show, and that's why I stay there, for the love of the game.
Well, I like that, for the love of the game. That's well put. Now, Charlie, the interview styles are vastly different, and I think that's one of the bonus points when you get interviewed at a show by the guys who came from the radio. We met Mark first, always comes and takes his picture with us and stuff like that, and then comes and asks us a few questions and stuff. But then we started meeting, and this is Fat Guy Inc., me and Brendan. Then we met Charlie, and Charlie just likes to ask questions. Very just a little bit more animated than Mark. Again, night and day, but really cool. Charlie, at times, and this is endearing and infuriating at the same time. It's the funniest goddamn thing. My studio's name is Fat Guy Inc. And then he'll start, okay, and I'm here with the fat guys, or I'm here with the fat boys. I'm like, whoa. It's a rap group from the 80s. It's a rap group from the 80s. We got to. It's a rap group from the 80s. And half the time, at this point, I think more than half the time, he's just fucking with me. And the rest of the time, he's just having a good time. And maybe he's drinking. I don't know. It could, because I do happen to run Mark Torres's favorite show.
Yes.
Yeah. Well, the thing with that is,
He just let it go. Okay, Mark, fine. All right.
I
Whatever.
said yes.
You didn't want to.
You passing the ball, and he just
Yeah.
yeah.
Damn.
He said yes very passionately.
He must have a Jets
Mark-
jersey on. That's what happened.
Mark was great when because again I just walked in and sat down on the show and Mark was like, yeah, you're gonna do interviews now. I've never did an interview in my life. As you guys know, you know the way I interview you.
It's very loose, though.
Yeah, I never did an. I'll ask you what I want to ask you, not what the people want to hear, because I don't know. I never did an interview.
But that's the point, because you don't know. It makes you ask the better questions and stuff that other people may not even think about.
Yeah, well, I guess, so. But that's why I've never gotten it right until this day when I was reprimanded, and rightfully so. Now I always get it right. I make sure. Other people I screw around with, but these guys.
Well, no, because I think you knew what my ultimate plan at that point was. Like every time he got it wrong, I was just gonna I forget what actor did it, but every time you got it wrong, I was just gonna curse while you were recording and use all your tape. That's just what I was gonna do.
You should have. That would have been great.
Take 79, the fatty, fuck you. It would have been. That's exactly what I was gonna do. So, that's how it was gonna go.
But I hope I made amends with that BLT sandwich.
No. Well, see, that's. I was just getting to that. First off, Charlie, you never have to worry. First off, I adore both of you guys, and I adore everybody. Well, maybe not everybody, but I adore getting interviewed. I adore getting interviewed by you guys, and I adore getting interviewed by you, Charlie, because it's hysterical, but it's also personable, and you don't feel like you're being interviewed. You feel like your buddy's come over and he's having a conversation with you, and it's cool. So I really enjoy those, and I look forward to them. And I'm not gonna lie, I get a little sad when they don't happen. I get a little sad.
Yeah,
it makes me sad when you're not there, but that's okay. You're here now. That's all that matters. Yeah. But what Mark passed over before was his favorite show is a show that we run, and the one where Jay and Angel helped me out a lot with is Indie Art Show, which is still up in the air for February. We're still kind of see. It's held in a bar, but that's not why it's Mark's favorite show. It's not the drinking, because
Mark doesn't drink.
Right. It's the mac and cheese. It's the macaroni and cheese cheeseburger.
Oh yeah.
Oh yeah.
Definitely.
Oh yeah.
So Mark,
don't forget, it's a free event. It's free parking. It's a relatively intimate venue, and the food is great there too. So all that combined makes it my favorite.
A lot of pluses.
Oh well, the cosplay is a huge plus too, and I can't wait for that.
And I'm there too.
See, there you go. Jason.
And whiskey doesn't hurt, especially when you're looking at.
Yeah.
However, this is where we're going to transfer over to Raph for a second, because Raph is the gentleman who was part of the most interesting interview segments I've ever seen, because I guess everybody was loaded when you guys were walking around. The Bitten Apple was doing man on the street interviews at the Indie Art Show. The show was cranking. He's stopping everybody involved. He just decided to go to the drunk people and talk.
Yeah, he got me good, bro. He got me. I was wasted by the time he got to me.
Everybody was sauced, and I'm watching the interview. They didn't talk about the show once. They didn't talk to me or Brendan. Like, what the fuck is going on? And then it was just. But the funniest part about that whole thing was, and I know Jay knows this story, and I think Angel might. The one person, the drunkest person that you should have spoken to, was the female Green Lantern cosplay. Yeah, she got there at the beginning of the show. She was first because she was there for the concert.
She was there for setup, I think. She
was helping me get my table out of my car. But the thing is, she didn't realize that the cosplay contest didn't go on till like 4:00. And she got there like at noon. So she goes, "Well, I'm not." She went to her boyfriend. We're not going home. And they went to the bar, got something to eat, and started drinking. Every 20 minutes, she would come by, walk through the room, and walk through the table. And every 20 minutes, she got sauced more. A little bit more lit, a little bit more. At first, it was funny, and then Green Lantern needs a lot of willpower right now. By the end, and then I don't know. I didn't see her. I saw her at the end of the cosplay contest, and I'm like. Then I saw the interview the next day. I'm like, okay, cool. I can't wait. Green Lantern. No Green Lantern. I guess you can't catch them all. They're like Pokemon.
In all fairness, when I went up to her, she was gone.
Oh yeah.
She was really gone. And as much as I was having fun interviewing all the guys that were drunk, I was like, this is not going to work.
She was load ski, but it was good. That's definitely a draw to the show. It's definitely a 21 and over show. But I think we have a really good combination with the bar because they love it. Because now on a what could be an average Saturday morning shift for the bartender, now it's a good Saturday morning shift, and they get to see Superman drinking with their regulars, which is pretty cool.
I have to admit, when you look at the bar and you see all the superheroes and all the costumes in there, you're like, "Whoa, this is a cool place."
Yeah, it's
like a
I think
bar.
I think I took a picture. Actually, I think I took a picture of Batman and the Joker drinking at the bar because that's my favorite convention because that's what you get. You get superheroes drinking at the bar, and I love to take pictures, and I take millions of them, and that's the picture I go for. And I enjoy that so much, that convention.
It's just a fun. I don't even know that I want to call it. We even call it a convention. It's definitely more of a show at this point. It's more of a get together. Now that we've upgraded the cosplay contest and stuff with it, it's a lot of fun. If people want more info, just message me and we'll let you know what's going on. I do want to transition for a second because Charlie, everyone actually has mentioned indie comics, and we want to talk about that for a second. But first, I'll go to that comment. I know it's just someone saying cool, but William Samuel Quinton is an indie creator, and his book, 47 Furious Tales, is a take on the story. If you remember from Japanese history, the 47 Ronin, if you're familiar with that, this is his take on it. It's not only written beautifully, it's illustrated incredibly, like it's impeccable. And then Angel and Jay, you'll see them pop off. The cover is like on 130-pound paper, and the pages are on like 100-pound paper.
Damn.
Okay, he stood the book up, and it stood up like that on its own. Like, crazy. It's just a really well put together book, and I get my copy tomorrow. But it's a really it's a well put together book. It's an incredible story. So if you guys get a chance to go check that out, the Kickstarter for issue 2 is coming out very soon, but you can still go and check him out and pick that up. But that's what I wanted. But that's it's fucking amazing. But that's kind of where I wanted to springboard into what we're talking about, indie comics, and we'll go around and we'll talk about our opinion and stuff. I personally, I think indie comics are the big two. Are the big two? They're having their problems right now, and I think the movies have to do with a lot of those problems. And they are streamlining what they publish. And obviously, I think the big problem for them is who's in control of the story, and a lot of the writers are hired guns, and they're taking the hot guy right now, except for a couple, like Snyder and Capullo and a couple others, but they're taking the hot talent, Bendis. They're taking the hot talent right now, the big two anyway, and draw Batman, and this is what we want, but be creative. Okay. Then you have Phil, what's going on, buddy? Then you have people like Image and Aspen and a couple others that are putting together creator-owned books. They're just publishing creator-owned books, or they have a site of what they're going for and what they want, and it's a lot more creative control. So it's like a popular indie, but I still don't think it's big two. I think Image is actually the better publisher, but that's whatever. But indie comics is, before it was like almost a dirty word where you would think, oh, indie comics, it's these guys making books in their basement. And yeah, maybe in the beginning it was. I know I was self-publishing myself. And a lot of people are doing some really good self-publishing. But we're talking about stuff that's on Kickstarter, Indiegogo, things like that. And there is a tremendously gigantic, and not only gigantic, but talented school of people putting out their own comic books and their own visions. And I think it's a great time for indie books. And anybody want to start with their opinion of what's going on? Okay, Raph, you go.
It was funny. I was going to jump in. I said, let me give everybody else a chance. I completely agree with you. I do feel like the indie market, the people out there putting out the indie books, the indie artists, they are amazing. They are everywhere. They are actually getting their stuff out there. What I was saying before was that I don't feel they're getting enough press. You know, I feel like there's so many people doing their own things, and it's like they're trying to get the word out there, and it ends up staying either in their feeds or in certain circle feeds, and I feel like they just need the help getting all this great writing, great art, great stuff out there. Because it's just amazing. Like you said, there's so many, like right now, there on my feed alone, there's like 6 or 7 projects going to Kickstarter. There's a couple of GoFundMe. They're all over the place trying to get these books out there, and I'm impressed. I love to see all the Kickstarters, all the Indiegogos. I like to see what especially because in these things you get extra stuff when you help them put their book out, and I feel like just for that alone, people should get involved, because you get sometimes you'll get the book and other stuff that's attached to it, especially if their goal is met and met and met, because they keep adding stuff to it.
They'll have tiers based on if you want the digital copy, the actual book, variant covers if they're smart, and then other things for bigger backers and stuff like that. But then there's stretch goals. So let's say their goal is 6,000, but then they go past it by X amount. They'll hit a stretch goal and they'll release something else, a print or something like that. There's actually the one that we're all well versed in because he was on our show last week. It's our buddy Larry in Niobe. He's been on Kickstarter for a while, but this is his book, Niobe Birthright 2. In 7 hours, he funded. And now he's a couple of days away. I think he's over 13,000 Canadian. He's in Canada. But he's hitting stretch goals and prints and all sorts of stuff. And I know when I backed the last book, I got a ton of stuff. So, yeah, that's exactly. I know Mark was chiming in, too. Mark, what do you got?
So I think that the biggest problem is that today's comic book fan isn't a fan of comic books. They're a fan of pop culture. And a lot of times when indie stuff gets that break and gets to be put onto TV and stuff, a lot of people are like, oh, I didn't know it was based on a comic. So realistically, it's just the people who know about comics know about the independent guys, but the general population, which is where the real audience you want to get, they don't know, and they need that exposure.
Yeah, and like me coming into this show, not knowing about comics, was great, because now I'm more aware of the indie guys, which I said the thing that impressed me about all you indie guys are the amount of compassion you have for your art and your work, and that I think alone should get put out there. That's why shows like ours are out there, to get you guys out there, because you guys are amazing with your compassion and with your intelligence in your work.
Well, I appreciate that. And go ahead.
I mean, I could only speak on in terms of, I guess me as a comic book fan. In terms of these indie comics, I mean, I agree with what Raph was saying in terms of they need to be more type of press for them, because I'm a huge comic book fan. And until recently, when I joined a couple of certain Facebook groups that dealt with a lot of indie comic book guys, never heard of a single one of these dudes. Never seen a single comic book of theirs. And I mean, the last time I went to a comic book shop, it was Midwest Comics, and this was 4 years ago. Me personally, I've gone digital because it's harder to afford comics now because they cost more. 2, I don't have the space for physical copies anymore.
Especially.
And
and 3, I don't have the time to go all the way to Manhattan and go to Forbidden Planet or go to Midwest Comics and go drop a couple $100 there and come back with only about 10, 11, 12 books maybe. And it's hard to find those guys. It's not like before when we had Wizard.
Yeah.
And Wizard used to have everything in there. You could find indie stuff, main stuff, everything was in there. Yeah. That's not around no more.
Damn, good call.
When I collected comics, that's what I got always every month. I got Wizard, and I make a list. This is what I'm going to get this month. Or this is new. I'm going to check that out. I mean, these Facebook groups and stuff, they're very dope. They're very good, but they only speak to the people that are inside of the group.
Yeah,
and it's hard to keep getting people to come into the group, and then if they do come in, say you're in a group and it has 500 members in it. Of those 500 members, you're lucky if you get 40 or 50 that are daily interactors. The rest will just join the group, and then they're in the group, but they don't even look at it. I mean, I'm in a crap ton of groups, and I barely see anything that gets posted. So I could imagine some of these dudes that are in all these indie comic groups, and that's why you see them constantly posting 8-9 times a day. But you're only speaking to the people that already follow you and already know you. Yeah. So like I totally get what they're saying. Like there has to be some type of press outlet or some type of something external that pushes these guys outside of their circles.
I think it's kind of why I said it's that COVID kind of helped. And I know Raph, Charlie, and Mark, you guys already had an online presence, and you guys were already doing things on the internet, and you just kind of elevated your game once quarantine and stuff happened. So you guys were kind of already ahead of the game with that. But I think a lot of indie creators, I mean, I know between me and Jay, we've had to upgrade and do all these things to get. I've seen so many artists have to get online and more lives, and I'm on Twitch all of a sudden, and you know, I dusted the cobwebs and the dead spiders off of my YouTube and all this nonsense. But I think COVID has brought a lot of these kind of things and brought a lot of these indie guys, not just to inside indie Facebook groups, but now I think a lot of them have to get online and have to start self-promotion.
I'll agree with you there, because like I was saying, I see a lot of it. You know, I have all these people who we see in the conventions, so I'm on all their feeds.
His face is kind of shaped like the logo a little bit. He does have that kind of face. He's just sorry.
It's all right.
I'm sorry. I couldn't let that go.
No, but you guys know what I'm saying. Like, you know, you get all this stuff because, you know, as you go through conventions, you add people to your feed. And you start to see them more and more. Then, you know, as the virus has been doing its thing, I've noticed what you're saying, and it's the self-promotion. They haven't been sitting there. They've actually been doing videos, doing Kickstarters. They've been showcasing.
They've always been doing Kickstarters. They're just more active on their social media. Because
I feel there's more.
No, there's definitely more. Yeah. There's definitely more. I just think a lot of these guys didn't before.
Right. See, but even with Kickstarters, I feel like they kick it up a notch because it's not just a Kickstarter now. There's a whole campaign attached to it. There's video. There's so much more attached to the Kickstarters because, you know, they're trying to shine. They're trying to look good because everybody's doing the same thing now. So they're trying to stand out. There you go. They're trying to stand out. And it's just amazing to see all that stuff out there.
No, I agree. Sorry, my phone is exploding. Now, I know this was the argument I heard, and I want to know what you guys think about it. A lot of the general, I think the comic fans, even if you're just a Marvel DC fans, you have some kind of knowledge of what indie is or what a Kickstarter or crowdfunding really, for a bigger word, is. Really quick, Bitten Apple TV adjusted and started using StreamYard. It's not the same, but I do think there is an advantage of the chance of going viral and interact with an audience that may have been too busy before. Rafael, is this someone from Bitten Apple?
That is our other partner, Kadma, the great actress, kung fu talented artist that she is.
Now,
An
Kadma,
all-around nice person.
Yes.
Kadma, if you'd like to get on and chat with us about this, we would love to have you. So just message Raph. That's okay if she messages you.
By the way, just a quick side note. I love seeing her little reviews that she's been doing.
Yep.
Oh yeah.
I've been catching them. Whenever I catch them on Facebook, I always check them out.
Raph,
I like seeing how she does those reviews.
Yeah,
Raph,
she's
really well. Could you send her the link, Raph?
Yeah, sure. As soon as she's somewhere where she can do something.
Oh, she's not home?
Yeah.
Excellent. No, it's okay. Just pull over to the side of the road and talk to us. Just pull over.
But like you said, Pete, like
So we think.
going to the shows, and Raph mentioned too, going to the shows. I mean, before COVID, that's the only time I really ever really saw any independence.
Yep.
Which is walking through Artist Alley and seeing people there hawking their book. But it's a bit, and this is just me personally, because it's just my taste. I get turned off when I'm walking through like a booth or walking through Artist Alley, and you're super aggressive in my face trying to pull me into your booth when I'm just walking by. Like if I see it and if I'm into it, I'm definitely gonna stop. But like if I'm just walking by and you're practically grabbing me by my arm to look at your stuff, that's an automatic. Yo, I gotta get back to my table. Like you see my badge. I'm not. I'm trying to do stuff here too. Like, and so like that kind of turned me off to a lot of these indie guys, because I feel like that's how they had. Maybe that's how they feel like they have to be at shows, because it's you gotta get someone there, then you gotta explain your book, you gotta show it off and stuff like that. So it's more of a process than say just an artist just selling their art and their arts. The art speaks for itself. They're trying to sell their book, and that like I said, me personally, I don't like when people are super aggressive to me, like grabbing me by my arm and telling me that you need to look at this. And I'm gonna be like, nah, man, I gotta go. That's the only time I ever really saw anything about independence before COVID. Was that?
It's really a double-edged sword. I mean, you guys have been on both sides of the table, so you know how difficult it is to try and get somebody's attention. And sometimes a lot of people aren't. They're very introverted, so they might not know exactly how to interact with the consumer or the customer base. So that's something else you have to take into consideration on the other side.
That's true.
Yeah. Oh yeah. I mean, I'm not nasty with them, but I mean,
I'm just saying that you have to keep that in consideration.
Mark has a very subtle way of doing that without running at you and saying, "Come in," and he makes me handle that a lot of times, because he calls me up and he goes, "Did you get the candy?" So see, you got. So we always have a big bowl of candy there. So. And
Free
people
candy
come
works.
and go, he's right, it does.
I know we're using some language here, but yo, Tio Pablo, take it easy over there. This isn't Narcos Comic-Con edition. This isn't, easy. Yes, that logo faces Mark Cadma. Now, okay. Going off what Jay's saying, which I agree, and I definitely give it a Mark is right. It depends on the person's situation, whatever. But do you think now with COVID and people being on crowdfunding sites, like I'm going to use Kickstarter because that's the big one, where it's kind of set in a thing. Everybody's Kickstarter is built the same and gets the same information, and it's up to the person on how amazing it's going to be and how amazing stretch goals they're going to put on and all these things. Do you think that's leveled the playing field for them? Now, okay, I got to make a video, I got to do this, I got to do that, I got to do that. Instead of now not having the ability to either sit behind the table and hope somebody likes their book, or like Jay says, jumping over the table and beating you over the head with a stick and dragging you over to your book.
I think it's a new level of a challenge, just to try to compete with everybody else. Because like everybody who knows me, my technology knowledge is extremely low. So if I was to do that, I'd be like, great, now I got to learn how to do this now. Great, I got to do this now. As opposed to just being at a table hustling on that end. Now I have to learn something else, to do something else, to sell something that's not even related to what I have to learn.
So I mean, one thing I seen was the Kickstarters, seeing early, like old Kickstarters from back in maybe a few years ago to now. Before, it was very plain. It was just a wall of text and a couple pictures here and there. Mm-hmm. Now you gotta treat that Kickstarter like like you're building a website. Like you gotta have graphics on there. You gotta have selling points on there. You gotta have like everything. It's gotta be look legit, because now they're at the point now. If someone is scrolling through Kickstarter and they see two different campaigns, and one looks legit and the other one just looks like a wall of text that they just slapped on there, which one are you really gonna look at? Like which one is going to draw your eye? So I don't know. I'm not an indie comic book creator. They might see that now and be like, man, that's a lot of work that I don't really know or want to be doing and know how to do it. And I could see it being, what's the word, daunting to them when wanted to. Okay, I'm gonna put my stuff on Kickstarter. Oh shit! Now I got to do all this. Oh my God, look at this Kickstarter. I got to get graphics made for this. Now I got to contact this artist. I got to contact that artist. I got to see if I can make this and that now. I mean, at the end of the day, you get out what you put in. So, I mean, it's just a tough spot. I mean, I don't know what the answer would be in terms of like getting them out there more. But I mean, I could see people looking at Kickstarter and Indiegogo and just being like, what the hell is this? Like, what am I supposed to do with this?
I'm going to give you, we talked about it before, and Jay and I have definitely been on this page before. I talked about it just a second ago. I'm going to show you a Kickstarter, an example of one that hits all the bells and whistles. And again, it's our buddy Larry's. Again, I backed this. I was backer number 200, so I'm excited about it.
I backed this during the first, but again, I backed it digital because I got nowhere to put books. I just don't. I got no space.
I wanted the books. I wanted the books in my hand, but that's because I'm a freak. So whatever. But see, he's got the photo, the images, but this is where we're going to go down. This might even be, this is pretty active. This is pretty. You got the words, but now he's giving you artwork. He's giving you, and then you're also getting the opportunity. Your tiers are all over here with all sorts of stuff. But then you're getting the artwork. But now look, you're also getting some previews of the book. But as we scroll down more, now you're going to go into the rewards where he's just going to kill you. You can get the digital. You can get the digital deluxe. You can get this cover. You can get that cover. You can get this cover. And with guys who are well-known, not just in the indie scene, but published guys.
Yep.
The Paul Green, this is my favorite cover, by the way, the Paul Green. The R.B. White's pretty fantastic, too. The R.B. White Naughty cover. There's this one that just happened. Green put out. All this other stuff. But wait, there's more, because then he does stretch goals and all sorts of other stuff. Just giving, you see that you get prints and trading cards and stuff like that. Just as an example of one that works. And then I'm not going to show an example of one that doesn't work because I don't want to hurt anybody's feelings or something like that. But like Jay said, it would look like, some text and maybe a picture and that's it. And this is done even without a video. There's others like Florida Man from Mike Barron. Now, Mike Barron, I think you guys know Mike Barron's name pretty well. Well known in the comic book industry. He did a Kickstarter for his book Florida Man, and it's ridiculously. It's a good book, well drawn, well written because it's Mike Barron. But he did the video is freaking hysterical. This, it's really all you put into it with the Kickstarter, and then I hate to say it like this, but you really have to pour yourself out there. And now, speaking of somebody with a good Kickstarter and a good video, Max DeVille here in the comments. Max has Mary Machine Gun, which is his book on Kickstarter, and it is just the Kickstarter alone is phenomenal. But he's got a lot of things going on in that are fantastic. And then, oh look, the Shadow Rabbits here. Don't worry, we were all late. We were all late to the party, buddy. Don't worry about it. Don't worry about a thing. But yeah, it's I think, and Max, if you're in the comments, please feel free to dive into this conversation. And you guys, and we're going to start with Charlie on this one. I think at this point now, to get your book out and to get people to talk your book, not only do you have to be in these Facebook groups and stuff like that, but you have to whore yourself everywhere on social media, don't you?
Oh, yeah. Yeah, you have to. Again, it was like Jason, you get what you put into it. And depending on your level of compassion about your project, I think that's what's going to drive you, your compassion on it. And I think the more compassion, the more you put into the project. And I think the people, because of COVID, they're discovering that they do have an option. They're not like any of the stores that had to close and have nothing. They have this option. They have the media. They have the social media. So I think that's what forced them out there. I think you're exactly right, Pete. It forced them out there. And again, what Jay said, you get what you put into it. And I think the compassion drives you on that.
Mark?
I agree.
I was so verbose on your show. Are you trying to hurt me?
Hey, I'm just trying to get a feel. I'm getting my feel.
Hey, what's going on over there on your? Is that why you don't have your face on there?
I
What
think
are you
it's because
doing?
he's feeling something else.
So
yes.
Mark has company,
as Charlie knows, because
Marcus,
we just
Charlie
started doing recordings on Zoom for our show. My microphone is on the camera, so I have to hold it right up to my mouth, because if I hold it so far away, you guys can't really hear me, and then it gets all the background noise. So I have to pop it over here. So if I put the camera on, you're just gonna see my teeth.
Will it help if you bang on the table?
That's that.
Raph, what do you think about pouring yourself out to get your stuff out there? Since we've all done it, I mean, I'm doing it now.
It's what you got to do, man. You know, as the Bitten Apple is half the stuff we do. You know, half the stuff is getting the interviews, getting out there. Then the other half of the stuff is trying to get the stuff that we got out there so other people can see it. So they, and it's funny because one of the saddest things, that I have to say is the lack of support of our closest people to us. Because
my show, what the fuck, man?
Oh, he's talking about family and friends.
Yeah, I know.
Yeah, especially family and friends, because there's one of the things I like to do is I like to sit there on Facebook or Instagram, and I like to look through the stuff. And like I said, I have a lot of people on my feed, and they're doing Kickstarters and stuff like that. And if it stands out to me, I'll take it and I'll share it. And it's so funny that we've all said this to our friends before. You don't have to buy anything. Just share what we're doing. Just get the name out there. Maybe you don't like what we have, but somebody else might like it. Or if you do like it, just and you can't buy it, just get the word out there. It's so important, to the independent artists, to anybody. It's so important that the word alone helps everybody out.
But I think the problem is that for that to happen, it has to happen naturally. Because if you're telling people, I think they get more resentful, and then they don't do it.
Exactly.
Now, I'm trying to figure out how to word this because, okay, you talked about the negative and stuff, and then I think we've all seen me post and Jay and Angel post about stuff like this, where yes, if you want to support an artist or a creative, but you don't have money, share our stuff.
Yeah.
Comment our stuff. Talk about our stuff. Please, 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 because that really, really helps a lot more than you could imagine. Okay, yeah, the money's great, but liking and sharing and commenting our stuff, gets it on eyes that may not have seen it, but also helps with those damn algorithms that are out there.
Exactly.
That if something's not shared or something's not this, it gets you involved with it. And I know, and we're not going to get into it because we talked about it a ton on the show, and I feel bad for him. I don't want to bring up bad memories, I know, but Jay had to spot this, with his Instagram and stuff, and
we could talk about it. I don't mind.
Okay, I didn't want to bring you into the suck hole that was for a couple weeks for you. Jay, go ahead. Jay was deep in the suck with his Instagram for a couple weeks.
So earlier this year, it was right after COVID started. Someone who I don't know, I'll never know who it is. A troll.
His name was Bob.
Could have been.
Could have been.
Basically, they started just mass reporting my posts.
Ooh. That's
and
awesome.
Basically, as you know, Facebook owns Instagram.
Yeah.
So what they did is they didn't give me a chance to defend myself. Two, they didn't give me a chance to do anything. They just straight up took away access to things I have on my page, because once you meet certain subscriber follow milestones, you have access to certain tools. If you're like a business or creator page or whatever, they took those away from me. Then they shadow banned me, so everything that was posted was getting seen by nobody. So
Ouch.
I went from 1 week where my average post was being seen by say 15 or 20,000 people, it went down to like 20.
Oof.
And then I couldn't advertise. I couldn't do anything. Basically, the only thing they didn't do was ban and close my account. They did everything but. And then because of COVID, they had no staff. There was no live person that I could speak to. Everything was time I put an appeal, it would go into the automated system. The system would see what I'm appealing, and then automatically deny me because I couldn't speak to no one and I couldn't defend myself. So I was stuck in this cycle for a good almost 2 months. It was about 6-7 weeks that I got to the point where I was like, screw it, I'm done. Like, I fuck it. Why am I killing myself? I'm not gonna do this anymore. Like, I was about to quit. Like, I was done with it. And because some anonymous dude just wants to like fuck with my shit. I mean, that just goes to show you, when you're on these social media platforms, that account might have your name on it. That is not your account. You do not own that account. You do not control that account. That is Facebook's account, or that is Twitter's account. And if they decide, well, you don't have access to this, or we don't like your stuff, we're taking this away. That's it. Like, I mean, you see it happen to cosplayers all the time especially when they do like the not safe for work cosplays. They lose their accounts all the time after they get like 400K followers, and now they starting from zero again. So that's what I was facing, and it's unfair, but again, what could I do? And then the sad part is when they finally started getting some live staff, and they finally emailed me, they straight up told me, we weren't supposed to do this to your account. Like,
wow.
So then they said, we're going to give you access again. But they still won't tell me who, because it's all anonymous. And, and it was just one of those things, like, Facebook just basically went, oops, sorry.
And that's bullshit. That's bullshit, though. That's 2 months of your life that you could have been proactively getting more work, or they pretty much took food out of your mouth.
That's pretty much what I was saying. I said, I'm like, this is not just a me posting pictures of my dinner. This is my business account. This is what makes me money. And with what's going on, we don't have no conventions. I can't go out. All I can make money with is pushing myself out there on these platforms. The fact of the matter is, Facebook owns Instagram. So
like a monopoly.
Facebook is Facebook and Instagram rich enough that they can provide an investigation service where they can look into this, because it is going to take 2 months out of your life, and you're supporting them. So I think they need to support us. And
I can tell you right now, they don't care.
Yeah, I know.
They're way too big, and they give zero fucks.
Opinion. Yeah, it's my opinion of what they should do, because they're making big bucks, and that's a sin. They're making big bucks, and they just don't care.
They don't care.
That sucks.
Yeah, but it's okay, because at least they can't get. At least Facebook doesn't own OnlyFans, and I can make my money there. So
yeah,
they don't own it yet.
Yeah. Well, I'll make the money and run. Everybody, make the money and run. But
get the money and run.
Pay your taxes, though, because that's
such bullshit. Because as artists, as creators, as writers, you bleed so much into your craft to just for that one whoever person who feels a type of way, they could just hit report, and then that's it. You're fucked once. Like, that's crazy. They have to have a better system and play for these type of situations. That's bullshit.
I think it comes down to a lot of what Jay said. They don't give a fuck, and B, they're covering better in their opinion, corporate wise, from a lawyer standpoint. Better drop the ban hammer and say I'm sorry than have a guy like sorry, my bad, it wasn't supposed to happen. Instead of screwing up, not banning somebody, and then some guy has his dick out on Instagram. And now they're getting sued.
It's basically you're guilty until proven innocent.
Right, yes. That's exactly what it is. That they'd rather be safe and not have something wrong out and just get it. Because even TikTok is getting that shit with people who are like, I was wearing tan pants and they banned somebody because they thought they were naked. They were wearing tan pants, stuff like that. Not that TikTok isn't the devil, but whatever. That's not what we're... Because it is.
I'm going to bring them up too, because now they're forcing TikTok to be bought by an American company.
Well, that's where we get into a. I think that gets into a little bit of a political range, so we're going to be careful with that.
I'm not even going to go political. Here's what I'm. There's no politics or religion here. We're running this like a bar. There's no politics. There's no politics here. I'm just saying that, you know, when it comes to the monopoly out there, the monopolies of the social media, all this and that, you know, I feel like TikTok's being forced to be sold. And now one of the monopolies is going, okay, we own this, this, and this. Now, if we own TikTok, we can corner the market.
It's just weird. I got enough anyway. I think most of us have enough. The Twitch even made me go, Jesus, do I have too much? Like, I mean, but whatever. At least
one thing, like you said, Pete, with this COVID stuff, like it forced. Well, yeah, that's what it forces you to use everything now.
Everything.
Because before COVID, my main social media was Instagram.
Yep.
I can tell you right now, I hate Facebook. Absolutely hate Facebook. Barely use it.
I get no results on Facebook.
I like Twitter, but I like Twitter for sports.
Yep.
I don't use it for art. I talk shit about sports and funny stuff.
I think Twitter is where Twitter. The thing is, everything exists on Twitter. So, like, okay,
yeah, like Twitter. I love Twitter just for funny shit and see like people fight and stuff like that.
Twitter is two old women. No offense to women, but you'll get the reference. It's two old women gossiping in the beauty parlor. That's what Twitter is.
But now with this, now it's like, damn, I got to start using my Facebook. So I've always had an artist Facebook page, but I never promoted it because I was like, fuck Facebook. I hate Facebook. I still hate Facebook. But now I got to use it. Twitter, but I gotta use Twitter now. The Twitch, the YouTube, all that stuff. Now I'm pushing all these things out there, and hindsight being 2020. Now I'm kicking myself. So it's like, damn, if I had been pushing this from 2 years ago,
you'd have built it up.
I would have been exactly where I wanted to be by now. Like
the real truth of the matter. The real truth of the matter with hindsight, and then I'm going to pivot for a second. The real hindsight really is that we all owe Tom from MySpace an apology. Not only did he let us, we did our pages however we wanted. We had music. We had top friends. We had pictures that everybody could look at, and he taught us HTML.
Yep.
Tom from MySpace.
Shout out to Tom.
I'm sorry, Tom. I'm here for you.
He's all right. He's swimming in his money right now.
Yeah, I know he is, but
he's Scrooge McDuck in it right now.
But I know he's waking up having nightmares of what could have been. But I feel bad for him. I just feel
all that shame away with the dollar bills, bro.
No, we adopted it. We adopted. We abandoned him for no good reason. I feel bad about that.
He looks at what Facebook has become, and he's like,
yeah.
I don't miss this at all. I'm good.
He cashed out and dipped. Now he lives in Bangkok.
I don't doubt it.
He had to switch. Yeah. Oh no, we're bringing. Well, see, Justin Timberlake owns MySpace now.
Yeah,
he tried, and it looked like trash. It looked like trash.
And then
I went onto MySpace recently.
Yep.
And I was like, "What the crap is this?"
Here's the thing. Do you know what it looks like? And then we're definitely going to pivot. You know how you have an iPod and it's like nice and easy to use and blah blah blah. But then you go because you can't afford the iPod, so you go to the bodega and you get that fake iPod.
Listen,
yeah.
And he's not.
And that MySpace is not really MySpace. It's just a website called MySpace now.
That's all it is.
Not MySpace.
Or
you get a combination between MySpace and Facebook and call it My Face. You know, it's either one of that. My Face. That's it.
Sit on it? I mean, what? I mean, okay. Now we're definitely pivoting.
Hey.
We're definitely pivoting. All right. We're talking about creative stuff, and we're talking about artists doing things. And again, it's made us all work together and do things, you know, all sorts of things, and doing things that normally wouldn't happen. Like a certain art project two certain people in this panel are working on right now when worlds collide. Raph and Angel, we talked about that a second ago. They have all these great mashups that were just really an art project that now Raph is turning into. Angel's still doing the art project, but Raph is now also doing the side piece. Sorry, that came out wrong. I'm sorry. The story to go along with it. So now it's basically an illustrated short story, which is a really fantastic idea.
And truth be told, the only reason that even came about is because to just break out of like the habit of like we as artists or creatives know we always have to pump content, right? But it gets to a point where you're pumping so much content, it becomes kind of repetitive, or it becomes to a point where you're not doing anything new and it kind of sucks the joy out of it for you. And if you're not enjoying it, your fan base or your audience, they're gonna know that
Yeah.
you're just pumping content to pump content. So like the only reason I wanted to do the two separate characters from different universes was for artistry wise, it forced me to learn more about coloring and highlighting and shadowing and stuff like that, because I got to take these two characters that are from other worlds that use different color schemes and bring them together. And also I wanted to give people something new and fresh to do. And then, but as I was doing that, then that kind of got repetitive. And then talking to Raph, I'm like, yo, we should put some backstory to this. And that way people can really be engaged on it. So like COVID has definitely made a bunch of us just get a little extra creative with stuff,
Now, I know we've talked about this a little bit and this, that, the other thing, but now you guys, we're going to do a little something special. You're actually going to pick the names of the next group of things going on, yeah?
Yep. So
Okay,
we
so
are pulling.
should I give you the full screen?
I'm
going to give you the full screen, Angel.
Ooh, you got the full screen. Hey, what happened?
You know what? Can you pull me and Raph, because Raph is a part of this? So
I can't put you and Raph on the full screen, unfortunately. Sorry.
Oh, no? Okay. Anyway.
I don't have that ability. But since you actually have the names in the thing, I'll cut to Raph for a reaction. How's that?
So we're putting the last. Now this is the last 10 rounds of this series. After this series, we'll come up with something new. But this is the last 10 rounds. You guys have given me a bunch of names. I've even gotten a couple of names from the guys. Pete's contributed, Raph's contributed, and we're just gonna pull names. And the first two names I pull, that's the first battle, and then so on and so forth until we get to 10 rounds. All right. So I've got the names here in my handy dandy artist club hat, and we're gonna shake it up like this here. Now for round one, what do we got? First name.
Could you wrap them a little tighter?
A little bit, because I didn't want to cheat. All right, we got Geralt from The Witcher.
Interesting. Right. Very interesting. Okay.
You need a better reaction shot.
This is the first one. Let him work on it. Let him develop it.
All right, so second name being pulled here. Holy crap, really? Sabretooth.
Ooh.
Sabretooth versus Geralt.
Geralt, yeah. Geralt of Rivia versus Sabretooth for the first round.
Wow.
Moving on to the second round. And we'll talk about these here and there with everyone in the group here. Oh my God, Pete's gonna lose his shit over this one.
I'm excited.
Second round, first name pick. Roddy Piper.
Ooh, Roddy Piper.
That's a reaction shot.
About that.
All right. And who's Piper gonna face? Probably with a coconut to the head.
Please,
no.
Please let it be. Please.
And this is the beautiful thing about this stuff is these names, they come from all different universes, and these two will probably never meet. And if they do, it'd be a different story. And you guys are gonna understand what I mean by
I'm so excited.
Story. Second name, Lara Croft, the Tomb Raider.
Ooh, Roddy Piper. Oh my God.
That's gonna be interesting.
She's gonna shoot him in the coconuts.
Yeah.
Third round. Here we go. Third round. Ooh, we got Snake from Metal Gear Solid.
Ooh, that's a good one.
Oh yeah. And who's Snake gonna face? So this seems to be the battle of the eye patches. We got Nick Fury.
Wow.
Whoa, that is a really good one.
That's a good fight. That's a good one.
That's a really good one. I'm happy about that. I'm waiting to pick one of these names that every time, because there's anime names in here. So
I'm kind of hoping something gets funky really soon.
Yeah. What we up to? Fourth round. X23.
Nice.
All right.
X23.
From Facebook and Instagram.
Wait, real quick. Do you know which one you're going to use? Comic book or you're going to use the movie?
That I don't know. We could decide that amongst ourselves here.
Okay, fair.
Oh man, yeah. And you know what? It's funny you say that because the next character it could go either way. We got Conan the Barbarian.
Conan. I drink your blood.
That's gonna be bloody as fuck. I love it.
Yeah, that's gonna be a bloody one. I'm happy about that. I love doing like action sequences.
That's
so
gonna
I'm
be
happy
bloody
about
as
this.
shit.
Let me keep these in order so I don't mess up the round.
Well, we
All
got it on video now. We're recording this, remember?
Yeah, fair. Oh man, here we go. 5th round, Evil Ryu.
Ooh.
Evil Ryu. Hadouken.
And who's Evil Ryu facing? What? Fuck my life. Genie from Aladdin.
I know who I want to win already, so
Did you say the genie?
yeah.
Genie from Aladdin.
Somebody's getting their butt kicked.
Listen, it is what it is. Like, this is gonna get crazy. All right. Next round, what we up to? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. 6th round. We got Iceman, X-Men.
Okay.
The Iceman.
Let me
Coming.
shake this up a little bit here. All right. And we got Iceman versus Bowser.
Iceman. Wait, that's actually a pretty good fight.
Bowser.
I like that.
Ice.
I have no idea how I'm gonna put that. That's probably gonna be a
Fire
full,
versus ice, man.
and you know what? With some of these, I'm probably gonna do like full illustrations for because some of them they just don't translate.
You have to though. You have to.
Yeah. So where are we up to? 7. All right. Negan.
Ooh.
That
Walking
is
Dead?
Walking Dead, yeah. Negan versus Negan versus He-Man.
Oh my God. He got the power?
Yeah.
It doesn't work out too well for Negan on that one.
You better get that furry crotch right, bro.
Don't worry, Jay. I'm gonna call you.
I want to see the details.
If anybody
for reference.
If anybody can spend time on He-Man's hairy crotch, it'll be Angel.
I want to be able to zoom real deep in there, bro. Real deep. I want to see those hair follicles.
Don't worry, because I'm gonna use you as reference.
Ooh.
Dude,
That'll be the best one you do then.
I guess
That'll be the best one you do.
I guess you haven't been on his OnlyFans lately.
I lost count here. What are we up to?
8.
Or 9.
8.
Wait, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. Yeah, this is number 8 here.
I'm gonna say, don't you have the paper in front of you? Dude, come on, you gotta be.
I'm pulling them out, but I'm like lining them up.
You gotta be.
You know what the deal is? You know how he's hurting right now?
He's got to count to 10. Yeah, that's got to be bad for him.
Yeah, bro. I can
One.
You're pissing Mark off. Come on.
Round 8, the Ghost Rider.
Okay.
All right, that's pretty good.
I wish they were a little more specific on that one. So I guess that's dealer's choice.
Oh yeah, you can go a lot of ways with that one.
Oh shit. Ghost Rider versus Kratos.
Ooh.
That actually makes sense.
That's really good, actually.
Chain for chain, man. Chain for chain.
I'm okay with that. Number 9. That's a shit. Beetlejuice.
Beetlejuice.
How are ya?
Oh shit. Beetlejuice versus Jack Skellington. Don't they wear the same suit?
Oh, that's so Halloween, man.
You probably have to do that one now.
Yeah.
All right. And the last round is Link
All right, like Link. He's my man.
versus Link versus Homelander.
Wow. I think Link can figure it out.
What? I think Link will beat him, man.
I think Link can figure it out.
The right weapon.
You know
I think
what?
Link can figure it out.
Instead of doing 10, because I got a shit ton of names, we'll do 1 bonus round.
Okay.
11. Last one. The hell is this? Here you go, Pete. Sailor Moon.
Sailor Moon.
That's it. Doesn't matter. She wins.
Sailor Moon versus. The hell is this? Space Ghost.
Yeah, it's a wrap.
That's actually pretty good. Yeah.
Yeah, no, but Space Ghost is done. It's a
I
wrap.
don't know. As soon as you said Sailor Moon, I had a feeling.
So there you have it. 11 rounds.
I enjoy that. That's pretty good. Charlie, Mark, what do you think? Anything you're looking forward to?
I think some of them is going to be like 1 frame, 2 frames, but I think it's going to be very, very interesting. You know, it's incredible the matchups. Some of them are hysterical, and
Yeah,
I look forward to seeing that. In fact, it's great.
it's gonna be great. It's gonna be
Mark?
great. We're
It's
gonna
gonna
try
be
to work
great.
it out.
I think Angel has a great color style, and seeing these things put together will be a very interesting piece to see.
That was such the political answer, Mark. I'm very impressed.
Yes.
Now,
Well, it's gonna be
Well,
mass
the thing
shop.
was, I had spoken to, maybe 2 indie art shows back. He was telling me about how, no, it was at the barn. We were at the barn. You were telling me how each one of your images did have its own story, and I found that very interesting. That he had that they had a story, and now that he's actually getting the story to be pulled into life with the combinations, would be a great thing to see.
there you go. Now I'm going to stay with Charlie and Mark here. I know Mark, I know you have your own book ideas and things like that, and Charlie, you're definitely a super fan of stuff. When you're looking for stuff, because we're going to kind of slide it back into the indie a little bit. What do you guys look for? What kind of lights you guys up when you walk down an aisle, or when you see at a show, or even now because of Corona and everything, when you see a Kickstarter or a crowdfunding thing, or you see something on Facebook? What makes you click? Let me check it out.
Well, with me, since this is a whole new thing for me. The minute I walk down an aisle and see the artwork hits me. The artwork immediately. It would be the same, like, since I'm the senior correspondent, it's the same way I picked the VHS video in the old mom and pop stores. The cover. If the cover was great, and didn't know anything about the video, I'd rent it because the cover was great. When I walk down an aisle and I see beautiful artwork, I'm right at that booth.
So when you're scrolling now, you see something. It's like, oh, okay, cool. That looks cool. Let me check it out. Okay, Mark.
Yeah.
Well, conventions is different than online.
Right.
Online, I hardly go online, so I just kind of scroll through, and if I see anybody I know, I'm like, oh, I'll share that. I like that.
Well, you're still on dial-up, right?
Yes, I'm still on dial-up. Yes, exactly. But as far as conventions go, one thing I like to do, because after you do it for so often, and remember, I do my best to try to stop at each and every single booth.
You really do, though.
Yeah, you really do. You really do.
So after a while, it starts to all merge together. So if I'm in like a really, really, really big convention, like the last one I went to was C2E2. Right. It was just so much stuff. So as I'm just walking up and down doing whatever mission I'm on, not necessarily going to Artist Alley, if something just catches my eye, I'll go over and I'll talk to the guy. And I find that you can start to tell who's the newer guys there, who's it's the first convention. Like you can just kind of see, and I find myself being gravitated more to those guys because I know what it's like having that first table. I know what it's like being in that situation.
They still have to open their eyes.
Yes, some of them do. Matter of fact,
they're not defeated yet.
Charlie, where was that one we went to in Brooklyn with the Power Ranger who was Kirsten?
Was that the PowCon?
Yes, the PowCon. So I met these guys at the PowCon, and they just had a bare table, had a couple books. It was 2 guys.
It was a table with a bear on it. It was crazy.
It was
that's a whole different kind of OnlyFans.
The book was called Crackhead Corey.
Crackhead Corey?
I'm like, I gotta talk to these guys. What was going on here? And he had such an interesting concept. I think it was about a guy who was, if I remember correctly, this was a long time ago. It feels like a whole world has changed since January.
It has.
That it was a positive take on a guy who was a crackhead on drugs. And he was supposed to come on the show, but then the apocalypse happened, and so we couldn't have him on the show.
That's funny.
You got to get him on the show.
Yeah, you kind of have to get him on the show.
But now that I learned,
a heart of gold, baby.
I got to know more about Crackhead Corey. Just that alone, I was like, I got to know. And sometimes it's a really good, interesting story.
Yeah.
Like sometimes you meet people, and if you let them, you ask them about their stuff, they're more than happy to tell you what's going on. And some of those ideas are just mind-boggling. Like when for Charlie and I, when we go to film festivals, we see some crazy films. We've seen some crazy films. But then when you talk to the guy who made the film, it actually gives you a different impression of the film.
We can't discuss snuff here, okay?
We cannot discuss names or anything like that. But we have we was sitting down through stuff which was like, wow. And Mark's absolutely right.
Wait,
Then
good wow or bad wow?
Very bad wows. We've seen a lot of bad wows.
Yeah. Then you go to the guy and it's like,
you wanted to charge him for wasting your time, basically.
Yeah.
That's true. Like there's it's been more than one time where I've turned to Charlie and said, "Why are we sitting here?"
And there's more than one time I turned to Mark and said, "I'm going to kill you." Yes.
And then talking to the people, it just changes the entire outlook of a movie.
Yeah.
We've had this one guy. He reached out to me on social media. He was like, "Hey, my movie's coming out. Can you watch our movie and tell us what you think?" And I told him, I was like, "Look, the one thing about our show is that we try to do our best to be honest as possible. So are you sure you want us to give you an honest review of your film?" And he's like, "Yeah, do
Translation,
it."
is your shit trash or is it good?
Yeah.
So he actually sent me I think it was the director. I think it was the producer that sent me the information. And he sent me like a mini biography of what the director was and the writer was and what they wanted the project to be. And reading that after watching the movie, I was like, okay, I see what he was trying to do, so I can give him a positive outlook on that. And
While we were trashing the movie.
And Charlie was nice enough that he didn't like the movie. He went for talking about the technical aspects, that he was able to appreciate that.
Yeah.
Our other co-host just trashed this poor guy's movie.
So you gave him a compliment sandwich.
Yeah. I believe everybody who does a project out there is putting their heart and soul in it, whether it sucks or whether it's good. It's not nice to trash anything. This is their work. So I try to find the good part out of the suckiness.
Except for big budget movies, we could trash
I do that
all the time.
all the time.
Except for Skyline. But other than that, that's okay.
That's I've been doing that with Angel for years, just trying to find that one positive thing.
Yeah. We're in the business where
Your shoes look great today, Angel.
Yeah, get respect and you give respect.
You got dressed today for once. Nice.
Yeah. So,
and it is something that a lot of, as Charlie did say, a lot of people think that they're doing a good job.
Yeah,
they're putting their heart and soul into something, which they think is the next coming of movies. They think it's the next, it's the highest grossing Star Wars. It's the next Episode 7, highest grossing movie of all time. Next Avengers. That's what they're thinking. But then when it comes out, you're like, what were you thinking?
Yeah.
But then on the opposite side, you see some really, really good independent stuff. Like I give this movie tons of praise, but Jared Burrell, his movie Incoherence, he's a friend of ours for a long time, a comic book creator. His first feature film, and they made it on, as he says, like a $2 budget on making that movie. And yet, when you watch it, it's a really good, like, it looks like a big budget movie. So, you can have both sides of the equation, and it's those people that you never know what you're going to run into. So that's why I just kind of see going back to the original question, what catches my eye and talking with the person.
Now, really quick, I'm going to ask Mark and Charlie, and even Rafael. Now, I know in speaking with Angel and Jay, I know what their answer is. You don't have to name names.
Bob.
Okay, Bob. Fair. But have you run into a bag of shit that's just such a bag of shit that even Charlie, senior correspondent Charlie Saladino, even Charlie couldn't say, oh yeah, no, the cinematography was just it was good. I love the light that they had. Like, oh no, just did you ever run into something that was just bag of shit?
Charlie, I can actually tell. I can actually answer for Charlie, and you can correct me if I'm wrong.
Go ahead.
But we were watching a movie, and it was really bad, and the guy who made it was a DJ. So the DJ scenes were really good because he was a DJ. And Charlie says, at least his wife is hot.
Wow.
See, so I even got a positive out of that one.
So right there, I believe that was the worst thing that he's seen, and he found something positive out of
That's
it.
getting
Yeah,
lemonade out of lemons for sure.
But again,
Could you tell her that though?
when we seen the movie, it was I couldn't find anything except for the DJ thing. But then what we met the guy and the wife, which was a plus for me. But the guy, they were both beautiful people.
Yeah.
So you can't go into smashing something when you got these nice. It's again, I say, to answer to your question, Pete. Yeah, nothing of value, but the people were nice. So, it's the respect thing. You gotta give respect for the art. So.
No,
And
I appreciate that.
And to give the constructive criticism, like sometimes if you just say, oh, maybe you could have done this, or sometimes if you ask the question, what made you decide to do this, you actually learn what their process is, and you're like, oh, I see what you're trying to do.
So you stop yourself from saying, "What were you drinking when you did this?" And
Yeah. You stop yourself from saying this blows. Really, it just, But yeah, when you meet the person, it's when you meet the people involved. Sometimes you just all that goes away because they're nice people. And if I wish a lot of times those people suck because I would go right down the tubes. I would be on that radio by that mic. This sucked. This blew. This Skyline was better. When you hear me say that, on the radio, then whatever I'm comparing Skyline to, and I say Skyline was better, that other thing really sucked.
wow. Okay, Raph, have you and the guys ever gone to a table to do an interview, and you're thinking to yourself, "Oh my God, why did we come to this table?"
Every time
Whenever he comes talks to me, that's what happens.
Raph, tell him the Carbo story.
Okay.
Oh my God. And
Okay, hold on. Wait, hold on. I have to think about this. I have to think about what you're going to say for a second. And do I care? I don't give a fuck.
Damn.
I don't give a fuck.
It was an interview. It was.
All right.
Go ahead.
Nah,
So we went to
nah,
do
fuck
an
that.
interview.
He put our boy behind escalators. Fuck it. Let's go.
So we went to do an interview, and it was just the fact that he was all over the place. You know how we usually go. You stand there, you do the interview. The cameraman had to go make sure that they were going everywhere the Carbo was going, because he was all over the table. He was all over the next table. He started moving across the floor. So it was one of those interviews where you're like, where are we going? What's going on?
funny as hell.
Oh my God! It was, that guy has a lot of energy.
Yeah.
Yes.
That guy has a lot of energy.
Yes. Yes.
He was like all over the place.
Yes. Yes.
And Mark's on the side going, "See, told you."
Now, Mark.
Yes.
Creative speaking, because we're gonna get into this. Now, Bitten Apple has an apple on the shirt, and it came from the radio. You got your logo and stuff, but you guys also have a spokesperson.
Yes.
You have a character. You have your own character.
Yes, one of
I
many,
almost
but
said-
my official mascot.
I see. I didn't want to say mascot because yeah, that sounds weird.
Sunburst.
Yes.
Yes.
Talk to us about Sunburst.
Woof. Let's see. Sunburst was a character I made in the late 90s. She is a second generation superhero whose parents were born of an alternate universe, and she lives in the far future. She has fire-based powers, so she flies around, shoots out heat. She has a brother and sister who I don't think ever seen the light of day yet, but they exist. And she actually has been in 2 comic books. She made her first appearance in War of the Independence, which was a comic series which still hasn't been finished yet by a friend of the show, Dave Ryan. He decided that he wanted to do an independent crossover of all the indie guys at the time. And this is, I'm going to say 2006, 5, I believe. And he went and got all the independent guys. And he was like, hey, do you have a character? And I was like, yes, I do. And so he slapped it on there, and my character first appearance on there. And then Fabian Nicizia's brother, Mariano, said, hey, let's do a crossover with your character and my character. And we did that book as well.
Now, on the screen is Nicole Oliva, correct?
Yes.
And that she's cosplaying as Sunburst. And if I remember correctly, this looks like it was at the Cradle of Aviation.
Yes.
Cradle Con. But I know the first time I saw her do this was at in Atlantic City. Yes?
Yeah.
Yes.
Yeah.
That was the Garden State Comic Fest winter edition, I believe it was.
Yeah, it was definitely winter.
Yeah.
Now,
but she's the third model that we've had.
Okay, see, I couldn't find it.
costume.
I guess maybe that's why I found this picture, because I didn't see any other.
Well, you're looking on the Instagram. Yeah, look
I'm
at the
I'm on the Instagram.
That's what I said. Yeah, look at the that was from that was from Atlantic City.
Mark always has his gangster face on it.
Yeah, I also noticed that there's no pictures of me on this, but whatever.
Because I don't do the Instagram, I do the Facebook.
Who does the Instagram?
Instagram is social media Steve, Kara the intern, who's just passing her by. And
I will happily pass her by then, since she doesn't.
Hey Pete, you know if you go to my pictures, you guys are all over them.
Oh, I know. I was trying to give somebody else equal time. I didn't want to play favorites, but obviously that's a thing of the past.
You can go to It Came From the Radio Facebook page, and there will be all the pictures.
That's obviously never going to happen again, ever, ever. I'll never go to that Instagram again. I'm so hurt.
That's actually the Bitten Apple's Leslie, the Sister Slayer. She's actually done some of our Instagramming. Yeah. So I have a couple of Instagramming people, none of which is me, because I don't even have Instagram on my phone.
Leslie was great. We went to the Soprano Con with her, actually with two shows, the Kate Fox show and Leslie. So 3 shows collaborated on that Soprano thing.
I saw her. She was at an indie art show too, wasn't she, Leslie? I know I've seen her a bunch, but she was at an indie. And then
she's out of New Jersey.
Right. And then I'm trying to remember the last time I saw Cadman was at the barn. I think. Right. I think so. But whatever. We're digressing. Because we're starting to talk about shows, and I know we all miss shows. We do. And I always ask this question, so I'm going to start with you guys. I know I always ask Angel and Jay. The money is for us anyway. The money and stuff like that. And there's a whole bunch of other things, but and we'll start with Charlie. What are some of the things you miss and don't miss about going to cons?
Wow, that's a good question, because usually I love going to the cons because I'm a big picture guy. So every con to me is good. The things I don't miss about the con is the inconsiderate people who just are. You guys know what I'm talking about right away. The inconsiderate people who will. A group of people will stand in the middle of an aisle while there's major thoroughfare going on there. People who take pictures and they have to grab the person out of the booth and put them in the middle of the floor. Or you get your photographers who think they're Scavullo and they got to take the cosplayer into a corner when you're waiting to take a quick picture. They take her into the corner. Now do this pose. Now do that pose. Now do that. I don't miss them. I miss the people. I miss the artists. I miss all the fun that we had knowing all the people. I told Mark this one time when I first went to conventions. It took us an hour to get into the door to the first booth. And I'm going, what? He says, I can't help it. I know these people. Down the line, it was taking me 2 hours to get into the door because I knew exactly what.
Everybody loved Charlie.
I miss the people. I miss you guys.
You would love and hate Katsucon, Charlie. You would love and hate it.
Yeah, and the thing, Comic-Con, I have Comic-Con. I have a love and hate relation with that. Um, Comic-Con, there's so many rude people because the cosplayers. I'm going to bring it down to the cosplayers. They get they forget that they can't do certain things. So who'll come into Comic-Con, which you can't get a germ through those floors? Who'll come in with the hammer? That I saw Godzilla walking down. Everybody was stepping on his tail.
Yep.
And stuff like that. You gotta, and we say this on our show. You gotta think about this. You know, Hassan would get crazy with this, with the do's and don'ts of conventioning. But I miss the people. That's my answer. I miss you guys. I miss taking the pictures and all that stuff.
Cool.
So
I know Jay's got something for us.
In terms of, well, I'm gonna go along with what Charlie was saying and things that something I don't miss. Kids that their parents just let them do whatever the hell they want. Because I've been at the table where, you know, the parents are just standing there, or they're looking at the booth next to me or across from me, and the kid just goes up to my books and he's just trashing my table, trashing my books, like you know, the hard swipe and stuff like that, or just like getting shit dirty and messy, putting their candies down on my shit or stuff like that. And I've even seen Andrew will knows what I'm talking about. I tabled with, what I want to say table next to me was an artist that we know, Adam Salties, and he makes these figures. And I seen where he's busy talking to someone and talking to these parents, and the kid will basically just grab one of his toys and keep walking. Like we straight up just me and Andrew just looking at him. And the kid just grabs one of his little toys and keeps walking, and we have to stop the kid and be like, yo, what the hell are you doing? Yo, put that shit back. And like these parents, like you gotta understand, like it's like if you go out to dinner or if you go somewhere else, having your kid with you is a responsibility as a parent where you have to make sure that kid's acting right. I mean, that when I go out with my kids, I make sure they act right. Because sometimes these kids could be the fucking worst. Like I'm sorry, but they just could be the fucking worst.
yeah,
Like they just trash your shit. They try and steal shit, and it's these parents that don't give a shit, and then they just let them do whatever they want. And then if you say something to the parents, they get all mad.
Oh yeah.
Let me put my book bag on your shit real quick and dump my entire.
That's the other one, because that happens to me a lot. And Angel can tell when I'm feeling some type of way. When someone is taking a picture of they say they want to take a picture of a cosplayer, they happen to just be in front of my booth in the aisle. No problems. But then they just take their book bag out, they dumping it on the top of my book, taking all this shit out, put it all over my table, and then going to go take their picture. And I'm like looking at dude, like I've done it where they do that shit, and I push that shit right on the floor. And I'm like, I gotta have that shit on my table like that.
as well you should.
I'll see his face and I go, yo, I better handle this one, because if I let Jay talk,
I'm gonna.
I could be a dick real quick.
I'm agreeing with all you, but there's one, and then we're gonna go to Raph and Mark on it, and Angel. But because I'm bringing one of these in by proxy from what it happened at New York Comic Con last year. It didn't happen to me. It happened to Brendan, my Fat Guy Inc. partner. You guys all know Brendan. You all guys know he is non-confrontational. He doesn't get into it with anybody.
Except with me, because he got mad at me one time and he let me know.
You were pushing his Copic markers onto the floor.
Okay, to be fair,
because you're jealous because of the quantity he has and the fact that you don't know how to use them.
That's hurtful. But tell your story.
Tell your story.
There they go.
Dirty.
Host. This is a host taking advantage of his hosting powers.
Goddamn right it is. Johnny Carson used to do that shit. Anyway. So New York Comic Con last year, there's this kid. I don't know how old he was, but he was not a child. He was a man child. and he was definitely like our size, Fat Guy Inc. size.
He was big.
Yeah, and he was dressed up as Spider-Man, no problem. Had his bag, whatever. And then I guess he was with his family or friends, and they were checking out something else on the other aisle. And New York Comic Con, like Charlie just explained, you just can't move really a lot of the time. My man put his bag down in front of Brendan's side of the table and then sat down, Indian style, in front of Brendan's side of the table.
Yeah.
And I'm looking at this going, bro, you gonna handle that? And he looks at it, then he looks at me like, I'm like, he looks at me, and he gives it a second, thinking maybe he'll get up when his family leaves or something. He's just chilling. The kid's just chilling there on his phone. So Brendan finally leans over, doesn't go around, leans over and taps the kid. Just goes, hey, could you not sit there because it's an aisle and you're saying nobody can come check out my stuff, and that's kind of why I'm here. When I tell you, this kid looked at him like Brendan had just run over his cat.
Wow.
Somebody killed Uncle Ben.
Yeah. How dare you make me move?
Wow.
And now what was great was because we had like not interns, but we had our crew with us, our helpers, and they're like, when one of the Danny just fucking move. so goddamn funny. But yeah, it was just, I'm like, what goes through your mind that's a good idea? You're sitting, and it's not like he didn't have stuff in front of his table. Like, I mean, I'm not gonna lie, luckily things have changed, but I've had stuff happen to me at show, and Jay has seen that I don't mind getting angry. And I don't mind.
I prevented a murder once in Chicago.
Yeah, I almost killed somebody.
Yeah.
I almost killed somebody. Raph, love, miss, hate. Wish it didn't happen at cons anymore when you go back.
I guess I'll start with hate because since we're on a roll here.
Because hate just feels so good.
It keeps you warm.
I guess it's that whole concept of we cover a lot of people. We give a lot of people a lot of airtime, and I understand that you want me to come over and do an interview with you. I'm like, man, I got no problem with that. But you have people that they won't leave you alone. They're like, you'll be in the middle of an interview.
Putting my business out there.
You're filming the interview, and I'm like, dude, I'm trying to do something here. Give me a second, and we'll talk to you in a minute. And they'll still continue to talk to you. Well, they probably won't talk to camera because camera's on the other side of the camera.
I know exactly who you're talking about.
You got to come over to my table. You got, come check us out. I'm like, dude, I'm in the middle of something.
I know exactly. You're not allowed to leave when this show ends because I know exactly who you're talking about.
I asked you one time. I didn't know we was going to talk about this like that. Damn. I said I'm sorry.
Yeah, but dude, you came up to him while he was peeing in the bathroom.
That was even worse, man.
He needed help. It looked heavy.
Over into the urinal.
You didn't need to share urinals.
They were full. He was my boy. I'm like, yo, we just won't cross streams. Like, I gotta get back to my table. Let me go.
Mark and Charlie, I told you
I don't do that ghost busting shit. So,
Mark and Charlie, I told you it was a different kind of show, right?
Very different, yes.
So, pass fail. Would this fly on it came from the radio?
No, there'd be a lot of bleeping. This will actually take the place of our most bleeped show ever.
I think we need to do it. It came from the radio dark, but that's just me.
It came from the radio dark.
In my defense, I'm on my best behavior right now.
In our defense, the three of us are, and if anybody gets the opportunity, if you want to see us not on our best behavior, the last two shows. No, the last two shows. This is a nice palate cleanse. This is Disney. This is fucking the teacup ride in Disney World. Okay, this is the Magic Kingdom compared to the last two shows. And if you want to go check out where the last two shows are, you can go to my YouTube. Yes, it says Pokey the Chicken. I thought chicken content was going to work. Stop it.
Host abusing his power.
Go check out the YouTube channel, Pokey the Chicken. All the past 4 episodes of the Pit are up there, or you can just go to my Twitch.
And
Some of you are on now.
He misrolled it.
I noticed my Twitch ain't scrolling to the
You
bottom.
can
though.
follow, it's on your name.
I'm just saying.
It's on your
I'm just
name.
saying.
And you can follow me on either one of those. That would be amazing. I would appreciate that. And here, because this guy won't shut up here. There you go. Oh, whoops, that's my sister. My bad. That's my sister. Sorry. Yeah, there you go. You happy now? All his links are there.
You spelled it right this time. I'm cool.
Well, that's because I copied and pasted it from everywhere. But anyway, Raph, go back. I'm sorry. We just completely shanghaied your part.
I'll say this too. Don't get me wrong. You want to interview you come over, you say something, but be respectful.
Don't touch his dick.
Don't pat him on the ass.
It was one time.
I do admit what I miss the most is being able to see.
Sorry.
Being able to see, the actual work, the actual independent artists, the actual independent comics.
God, I thought that was going to go a different way.
Seeing it online and seeing it in person are two totally different things. Being able to hold the book in your hand and seeing it online are two different things. So I like being able to see all the different people that we get to meet and hang out with and discuss their products. I think I miss that the most.
Okay, that's cool. Mark.
Wait,
everybody, hold on.
He didn't say his favorite thing. He said what he
I did.
What he hated, but he didn't say his favorite.
It's the same thing, Jake.
Seeing the independent artists and writers and seeing their work in person.
Both things are the same, and they involve his penis and Jay.
He's not gonna mention how Jay gave him the double Michael Jackson groan groin.
All of a sudden, nobody likes it, huh?
No,
nobody complained when it happened.
In Jay's defense, because he knows the camera's heavy, he was probably just checking you for a hernia.
Oh, this is the last time I'm gonna be a good buddy. That's all. Next time I'm gonna let you suffer.
All right. The one thing that I miss most will be
Wait,
the
hold on.
opportunity.
Who's firing? Your hot pockets are done. Whoever's at that beep.
That's not me. My background is actually quiet right now.
Who the heck is that?
Charlie, is that you?
Not me.
Charlie, it is you.
Oh, gee, hold on. It's my
Damn it, Charlie.
Hold on.
This is not the first time that it's happened
Wait a minute.
with our senior correspondent.
We just
As
let
the noise
Charlie
going,
down.
and we're like, "Who is it?" He's like,
Wait a minute,
real quick.
Me. And then it's always him.
Oh, that was great. Charlie's
my
face
own-
was so convincing. Yo,
I thought you was
Every time.
What happened?
You know, I have these on. It's like it's not me. And then I looked over, and my alarm for work is ringing, and I'm like, and I was hoping the camera wasn't on me, but
every time without fail.
that was
Always says it's never him.
at least I don't bang on the table. All right.
True,
My
true,
show. I
yeah.
can bang on the table however I want.
Thank you for not banging on the table.
Bang your
Appreciate
dick
that.
on the table. I know you're gonna have to
Crazy?
stand
That
up.
makes you angry?
I know you're gonna have to stand.
Hell no.
No, that makes Mark angry.
Oh,
All right, so let's see. The worst thing I hate is the overcrowding. I guess the elitism of it. Is that a word? I don't think it's a word.
Yeah, we get the gist.
Elitism from
We'll make it
where?
work.
Sure it
From
is.
artists or from?
We're not playing Scrabble. It's a word.
From trying to get to certain places. Like, in the old days, you went to a con and you were able to see everything or a large portion of stuff. But now, because so many people want these things, they give out like tickets in the morning. You have to get there at like 3:00 in the a.m., sleep overnight, and then get a chance to get into somewhere where it's not necessary anymore. I think that they can just put it have like closed captioning TV, closed circuit TV. You can have those things. You can watch the panels. Just trying to get access to certain people. Like going down to if you just want to go up and say hi to a celebrity or something or an artist and they have a giant line, they're like, oh, well, unless you want to buy something, you can't come over here. That's the things that I hate about conventions.
Yeah.
I'm going to add something to that.
Yes.
Photo ops and something. The audacity of some of these people, and I'm not trying to be negative. because
You mean the $600?
No, I love the photo opportunities and photo ops. I think it's great for people that want to do that. I don't normally do, but I love that. But the motherfuckers that want to charge you $40 for taking a selfie with your own phone.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
Kiss my big hairy ass. No. And then we're going to bring in a seventh friend right there. This is our buddy Phil Russ, who's going to come in. He just got off live for his.
Hey, Phil Paul.
We'll add you to the conversation. We're talking about Mark's about to be done with his topic. Then we'll jump to you. We're talking about things that we miss and things that we don't miss about about being at shows. And that's a perfect pivot into the next thing I wanted to talk about. So, Mark, finish up, if you will.
All right, so that was my hate. My likes or the things that I miss most is just hanging out with all my friends and eating at the conventions.
Mark loves to eat.
Just after the convention, just the hangout time is always a great thing.
Oh yeah.
But the one thing that I love most about conventions is opportunities that we've had.
Yeah.
And I want to give a shout out to all of the showrunners that has given us an opportunity. You know, New York Comic Con, Big Apple Con, even Phil with his Creator Con and his Suffolk Comic Arts Expo. And what else do we have? You, Pete, you have your indie art show.
Yep.
The Eric with his Ambient Con. Even Bernadette, we have Bernadette Giamato. She has given us opportunities.
She's amazing.
That's one thing that I miss the most. That I really love is the opportunities because Charlie, I think it was his second year doing the convention. We had the Mark Hamill interview, and that was just an opportunity that just fell into our lap.
Yeah,
or
that was a great opportunity. Yes.
Or when you got to meet, Burt Ward, when we had that opportunity.
Well, I did the interview with Burt Ward and William Shatner that day. That was a great opportunity.
Yeah, so that stuff I miss. I miss those opportunities. They're a lot easier when you're able to go in person and interact and get all that stuff done. So yeah, those are my threes: the likes, hates, and the misses.
All right, and then we're going to pivot over to Phil real quick. Now, for those of you watching the replays that don't know, Phil is a friend of the show. Friend is a Phil of ours. He also runs what was the Suffolk Comic and Art Expo, which is now Creator Con. I got the Instagram scrolling underneath, and he has something coming up in the works. But we're going to talk about that in a second because I know Phil does go. I see Phil at almost every show. What do you miss the most about going to shows, and what do you miss the least about going to shows?
Well, I'm a big art collector, so I miss Artist Alley in general, of course. But just overall experience, the energy of a con, and getting to meet new people. I've only had the opportunity to meet Angel once and Jay really once or twice. I didn't speak to them often, so hopefully I'll get another opportunity. But it's great to meet new people, different artists. And I love meeting indie artists that are like that diamond that you found. Like, oh my God, these guys are good, and you get to walk away with some great art from someone that isn't charging you for their name, but for their talent.
I can go with that. Now, the reason I would ask Phil on anyway, no matter what, because he has a wealth of knowledge and he's a good. It's a really fun conversation. But
he's a Red Lobster fan.
Fair.
By the way, Mark, Red Lobster's right across the parking lot.
Right across. Although I would go to Smoky Bones. And speaking of that, we have to talk because Phil has a little something to help us get back to normalcy, and some of us in the room are going to be a part of it. And I'm going to share the screen here so we can get a good look at it. The Suffolk. Where the hell did it go? All right. So the Suffolk Comic and Art Expo is coming back for December 6th in 2020. It's here on Long Island. It's going to be at the Courtyard Marriott in Long Island. It's right on Long Island Expressway. Yes, there's a Red Lobster and a Smoky Bones right there. It's a great hotel. I've actually been at that hotel. It's fantastic. December 6th, like I said, 2020 from 10 to 6. Now, here's the thing. I can tell you all the names that are going to be there. Keith Williams, Billy Tucci. Those are just amazing people. And I know I'm going to be there. Jay's going to be there. I'm sure Charlie and Mark are going to be walking the aisles and Raph too. But here's the thing that I want to let everybody know. On the bottom of that flyer is really what's important. And Mark and Phil, I'm going to let you dive in on this in a second. But I want to say this first. As a diabetic and as someone with elderly people and diabetics in his house, I'm concerned with the COVID and everything that's going on. Phil's a registered nurse. Phil talked about what he was planning to do with the social distancing and the corona protocols that he has in place in regards to mask, the social distancing, the amount of people allowed in at a time, the sanitizing stations, the volunteers and the staff that will be cleaning and things like that, and how he's been in constant contact with the hotel and the venue to make sure everything's safe and clean. And I have to tell you, I've been scared. Yesterday, I was scared shitless to go to the supermarket, but I had to because people got to eat. But I got to be completely honest with you. Phil set me completely at ease when he was talking to me about this, because it felt like, okay, you are concerned about the public safety, about my safety, about your own safety, of course, and so that we can still have this event, still get some of our normalcy back, get a show back, which we all want, of course, but still have it, safe in these times. And I really appreciate that. That's what I appreciate the most about it.
Well, yeah, I mean, I've been a nurse for well over a decade, and infection control is pretty much everything that my career is based around. And I have a 71-year-old mother that lives with us. So I don't want anybody at risk either. So obviously, first and foremost, we're adhering to a 25% capacity. I have 2 rooms to disperse the crowds. And there aren't aisles, so no one's getting jammed up in an aisle. It's an open floor concept. I will have a sanitizer station. I will have staff that is scrubbing everything down. Literally, I mean, you'll just see them constantly running around cleaning.
That's awesome.
That includes the sanitizing station, because you know how many people are touching that pump. So that'll be covered. I'm providing some gloves for the guests at the show and the vendors at the show. Masks are mandatory. I am going to have the surveys filled out by everyone, that if you have any signs or symptoms, if you've been in contact with anyone out of state or out of the country, if you have been out of the state of the country in the last 2 weeks, all those things must, if anything is positive, you cannot come in. I don't care if it costs me money. You cannot be in the show if you are a threat or a danger to the public. We're not doing food there because we don't want that to be a spread. And I'm doing only cash at the door, which is only $5, because that eliminates, credit card is, you're handing it to people, you're handing back to people. That could be a reservoir for the infection. So we don't want that. Kids are free under 12, but I am recommending maybe keep your kids home. 1, they hit the capacity of the room. 2, we obviously want our young and vulnerable and our elderly safe. 3, if you are older and you want to come to the show, I am not going to stop anybody's freedom or right, but I would ask you to use proper judgment. If you have comorbidities, you have other health issues, you might want to sit it out and just play it safe. But that's every individual's right and freedom to make their decision. I will not stop them as long as they are not a threat to the community. So, and masks are mandatory. And when they're online, you have to maintain the 6 feet distance online getting in. I just ask that people are patient with us because of the capacity restrictions and wanting to be safe. If you're online for, a little bit, just asking people to understand and be patient. That's all.
Very cool. I'm super excited for a show. I think everybody is, but I'm super excited with the controls and the protocols that you have in place.
Very awesome.
Yeah, it's very cool. Now, I know you and I have talked about it, but I kind of wanted you to talk about it. What was the impetus for you to put this together? I mean, I know you have your show normally, but you put this together, and I wanted you to speak on what made you want to do it.
I actually put this together in 3 days. So I had the Suffolk Comic and Art Expo, but I changed the name, and I'm moving out of Long Island because I don't want to be locked into just one region with Suffolk. So it became Creator Con. That'll be a 2-day annual show. But because of the size of that show, I'm obviously waiting probably till 2022 when things get better. And plus, flying in artists from other states is probably not going to happen during a pandemic. So I do the Creator Con Q&A, and a lot of local artists have been really kind and donated some of their prints for the Creator Con Q&A as giveaways, free giveaways and contests that I do. And every time I talk to one of them, they were down talking about, I'm sitting on a ton of inventory. I have tons of prints that because I had aspirations this year to start traveling to further cons and getting my name out there and getting exposure and all these things. And I just, after like 5 or 6 guys that I know telling me this, look, I know what it is to you're grinding at your day job, and that's the distraction from what you really want to do. You have your love and your passion, your dream, but you got to go to the day job every day to pay your bills, and that feels like it's getting in your way of your dream. And I felt bad listening to all these artists say they're sitting on inventory, they had no cons. So I said, you know what? Let me do just a small one so it could stay safe, because a larger one, it's hard to keep the protocols in place. So let me just do a small one. This isn't 20,000 square feet. This is probably about 3,500 square feet. It's more like my first ever show. And I said, let me bring back the Suffolk name, and I'll just keep it in Suffolk. And this will be a quarterly show if things go to plan. We'll have one in March and in June. And I just want to help artists sell their inventory and get out there again. That's why I'm only doing a $5 door. I'm not in this for money. I just wanted to help the community, local artists. So,
and all of us definitely appreciate it. It's such a great idea. It's going to be. I know it's going to be a lot of fun because when you get the caliber of talent that you have and all us underground indie guys in a room together, it's always a good time. And I'm going to be completely honest with you. Getting takeout food from Smoky Bones is really, lighting my fire. I haven't been there in forever, so it's like, all right, yeah, damn straight. I'm going to put a to-go order, curbside, pick that up, and probably eat it in the parking lot.
Oh man, Phil, not for nothing, man, but after hearing like all the the precautions you're taking and with everything that you said you're doing, like I'm gonna have to hit you up about this show, man.
This is the thing too. We are full, but
fair enough. You don't want me. I get it.
No, not at all. Actually, to be honest with you,
I told him not to have you. Okay.
No, in all honesty, look, I'm an honest, straight shooter. I've never really had the opportunity to speak with you, and I've always wondered, why you never reached out to do a show. But you're always welcome at a show. I literally, there's been such excitement. It filled up. I mean, what I can tell you is problem is with COVID, I can't squeeze tables in where I normally have room. But if I can,
what's going to happen is Phil's going to put a tent outside right up front, and you can have your own table outside in front in the winter. That way you get first pick of all the people going in.
In all seriousness, Angel, let me see what I can do. Maybe I could try to safely put a table somewhere, because I hate turning anybody away.
If you can't, it's not a problem. I don't want to put anybody at risk.
Put them on a waiting list. That's all.
No, if I can do it, I promise you I will. Though I literally don't like turning anybody away, and I know this sounds like a load of shit. Excuse me, but
no, it's okay. We don't. Trust me, that's the softest word, baby.
Yeah, they got me cursing, so.
Well,
I'll make you feel better. Here.
When someone shows interest in my show, I literally appreciate it. I mean, because you're trusting me, and you're investing in me to put you in a position to be successful. We're kind of partners in a way. I mean, you're investing your time and your money in being at my show, trusting that I'm going to get the crowd and get you an opportunity to make some money back and get exposure. So when someone, believes in me enough to do that in my show, I hate to say no to anybody. And Pete can tell you, I'll cram a room tight, man, to get everybody in.
It's funny because and you say I'll bring us all so we can all. You talked about your first show, which was across in Bohemia, across the street from the Applebee's on Betts, and I remember that place well. And you did fill the room, but I still felt comfortable, which is cool. I didn't make it to the other two.
I'm pretty good at layouts. Actually, I'm pretty good at floor plans.
It was pretty smooth, and there was traffic that the traffic seemed to be all over the room from where I was, and it was, comfortable. So, and I'll be honest with you, I'm always I have the air conditioner on now. I know how that sounds, but I was right by a door where I was getting like freezing cold air the whole time. I was happy to pig and shit. It was great.
I do try to strategically place people.
I was so happy.
Not for nothing, Phil. I've been wanting to check out your show, but at the time it was just a scheduling thing. You know what I mean? So
I gotcha.
So,
by the way, congratulations on your marriage.
Thank you very much.
I like how he says that. Congratulations on your marriage. It's not like congratulations on your marriage. It's like I know what it's like. Good luck, buddy.
I was just online. I was just live for 2 hours already
Right.
too, and I'm starting to wind down. But no, congratulations. I'm happy for you. I'm happily married, so I'm sure it's gonna be great for you.
Angel,
Thank you, I
bang
appreciate
on the table if she's watching you right now, okay?
Yeah. Well, I'm happily married, but of course that's because she's asleep right now and she's getting away from me. But you know.
Fair.
Another help me DM Angel. Damn.
Oh, my God.
You got that one too?
You guys
Shit.
are supposed to say
Every hour on the hour.
I got to
And,
help him from his dog.
Charlie, are you going to be there?
Yes, I'm planning to. I'm always at Phil's events.
We're
as
building
Phil
a.
knows.
I'm building a hazmat suit for Charlie as we speak.
I was going to say, yeah, just be careful. And you too,
I'm
Raph,
coming.
don't you?
I'm going to come in with the welder's visor,
There
you
you
know,
go. There you go.
and right over the front so I can't see it's going to be our logo. It came from the radio.
You should make it like Iron Man's mask or something.
I already
Yeah.
ordered the face shield, so I'm fine.
Yeah,
I'll wear a hockey helmet with oxygen if I have to. I'm not,
yeah, definitely. Always enjoy Phil's events. It's always a pleasurable thing, and again, Phil is so hospitable.
Hospitable.
No,
Close
the
enough.
word I just said, not hospitable.
Close enough.
Yeah.
Well,
So
look,
anyway,
I think we're all lucky.
you know what? Stop it! I'll make my phone ring again.
Whoa.
No. Hey. Be nice, Charlie, or Jay won't check you for hernias.
Yo.
I heard he could get.
I will rescind my services real quick.
See, I'm gonna make this the topic of the night really fast. I think because everybody watching, we're all local to the area. I know some of us got too bougie and moved out to Hoboken.
Oh fuck it.
Oh, broken, baby.
But we're all from the general New York, Long Island area, and I think from the city, from the boroughs, all the way till we get east on the island, I think we're lucky to have a lot of good shows, and not only just like bigger shows, 3,000, 4,000, 5,000 people, but even the little local library stuff and the little local school stuff. That's fantastic. I know Jay and we were fanfare at the arts
That's art and design.
Yep, that's fair. I absolutely. That's one of my favorites because you get to give back to the kids. That's the library shows too because you get to give back to the kids. But we talked about it. Indian, Phil shows, my little bar show. Although I think we're very lucky that we have all these. That we have all these areas because then I hear people all the time from out of state and stuff like, "Oh yeah, I got to travel 400 miles to get to Indiana Comic Con." I'm like, "Yeah, me too," but that's because I have to drive there from Long Island after I. So it's like, I mean, that's the other thing about 2020, though. I miss the fact that we're not traveling.
Well, like Pete and Phil, your shows are amazing, and we thank you. The media thanks you guys because I enjoy the Long Island shows, and in fact, I get that out to everybody. Yeah, the city shows are nice, but you got 1,000 Long Island shows that are our little secret that are beautiful. And what you guys in the media, thank you guys for that, especially for the Long Islanders. That's bad.
The truth of the matter is, none of us like leaving Long Island. So,
I noticed that about you guys.
we don't.
Yeah.
We really don't.
See, that's the thing. That's one of the reasons why I'm moving to Queens or CreatorCon too, is because Long Islanders will travel west, but people west don't want to come out here because it's a hike, man. Especially if you're taking a train, the LIR is expensive, and then you got to Uber from the train, and it's a pain in the ass. So I'd rather go where there's foot traffic. I grew up in Queens. There's the F train and the R train, and then you got the buses, and it's just easier for everybody.
It's kind of why I keep choosing the blah blah blah.
The bubble?
The nutty.
Easy for you to say.
It really was the nutty for Indie Art Show because the train is right there.
Yeah.
Even though for 90% of my shows the train is the Ronkonkoma line.
Okay.
Fuck this, but whatever. Yeah. The one time it worked was because it snowed and it was okay. And then I had a fire drill the year before. Remember the fire drill I had? There was the fire alarm our July show. It was legitimately 103 degrees outside with no breeze. and then the fire alarm went off, and the manager of the bar was like, "You all have to go outside and wait for the fire marshal to come and turn off the alarm." The guy, dude, legitimately, the truck showed up, the big truck, not the little Chiefs car. The fire truck showed up, and the guy had to extend the ladder and go to the roof to make sure the building wasn't on fire before we could get in. And we were definitely all outside just dying. But it ended up being a really dope show because everybody went back in and started hammering drinks. And that's when the drunk interview happened.
Yeah.
That's when
that explains it.
That explains
and then, unknown to anybody, one of the firemen won the cosplay contest.
No, I think, who won it? No, that was who won it? Who won it? Jay, Banana Hammock.
Banana Hammock.
Deadpool? No, was it Deadpool? Yeah, it was Deadpool. Yeah, Deadpool won that year. Deadpool won that year.
Yeah, Jay got to remember that. He got screwed.
Yeah, the contest.
Y'all just don't want to vote right. That's the problem with this thing. I told you who to vote for, and then you just go against me.
Okay. And then we'll do our final thoughts after this. At my show, at the Indie Art Show, I'd like to have the least amount of moving parts possible. Come in, grab a beer, check out some art, check out some cosplay. Everybody gets entered to the cosplay, whether you're cosplaying
Eat the burger.
Yeah, and the burgers. Whether you are in the cosplay contest or not, you're in the cosplay contest. No signups. The artists are the judges. Now, the way the judging works is simple. The artists like what they like. They write down their top 3. I collect them, then give them to Brendan, and he does the math because there's nobody I know that's better at math than Brendan, and we figure out the winners. And you don't want me to do the math, trust me. So, but the criteria for judging is simple. Artists pick what they like. So if somebody dressed up in a Batman t-shirt says, I want to win the cosplay contest, and decides to give each artist $50, vote for me number 1, guess what? Batman and t-shirt's going to win. Okay?
So if I go as a fat Irishman,
my
that's
morals
right.
are too good for that.
So if somebody walked up and was like, listen, I'll give you a hand job in the corner if you vote for me. Well,
I'm surprised Jay didn't win the last time.
He booked too many people on top of each other, and they didn't like that.
He's not properly explaining why I'm so invested in the winner.
I think he just explained why you're invested in the winner.
That's my side hustle.
Now, there's a $75 and a $25 prize for first and second place. But aside from the money, everybody also gets art from the artists.
Yep.
And now what's cool is, and they also get tickets to like Indian Con and Tropicon and I think a couple others. But what's really cool is Angel, Jay, and myself also will do a commission or an edit for the winning cosplayer. Okay? And I had joked, but he took it seriously, that I told Jay, he's like, we're going to make sure the guy who comes in the Speedo wins, right? So you can do the edit. And since then, Jay has thought that we were rigging the contest.
Yeah.
No,
you guys won't let me count.
No, he thought
guys never let me count.
No, we're never going to let you count.
So he thought we were rigging the contest last time because Deadpool was going around and giving the artist the little
Deadpool sketch,
but with the artist's name in it.
Yep.
I got one. Pete
I got one.
The only
Brendan
one
got one.
Got one was good old Atro over here.
It's cool. Listen, it's all right.
He was bent out of shape the entire day.
Did I still do the edit though?
You did the edit, and it was really good.
I'm a professional. I'm a professional.
You're a professional. But behind the scenes,
I was mad.
God.
Behind the scenes, I was tight.
Dude, my dog is pissed at you for all the complaining you did about it.
Yeah,
all these cosplayers that I wanted to do the edit for, and you guys just picked some random one.
You can still do the edit for them. Nobody's stopping you.
No, I'm still forced to do the one that I don't want to do.
I'm just praying that for the next one, we have the next one, because what will happen is, and I hope that I have just enough money to give to someone to literally walk in wearing just a banana hammock. In fact, maybe I'll do it and win the cosplay contest.
Wow.
Oh my God.
So Jay has to do the edit.
What do you think of my cosplay? I go as a fat Irishman.
You're in.
You win. That's
Sweet.
it.
I gotta be honest with you. That's actually been cosplay before at the Indie Art Show.
Yeah,
The
but
guy
for me,
didn't
it's
know.
natural. I'm not getting dressed.
The best cosplays. There were three kids. There was
I'm just
three
walking in the door, dude.
There was three kids that said, "I'm Archie and Jughead from Riverdale, the TV show on the WB." They were wearing street clothes. I'm like, okay, cool.
Phil, all you got to do to win, I'm going to tell you right now, just slide us some Jameson or something, a shot of that. That's it.
You know what, Phil? You could also, maybe you could properly, since you're a nurse, you could probably teach Jay how to do the
hernia test.
Hernia test, yeah. So, because
listen. My interactions with Jay, he seems like a really cool dude, but I'm staying away from his groin, and he can happily stay the fuck away from mine.
There's been a lot of slander and false accusations thrown in this show today. A lot of slander.
Listen,
a lot of carelessness.
He's gonna ask you to check him for pancreatic cancer.
A lot of post.
You're gonna lose.
I'm not checking your prostate. Yeah. I'm not checking a prostate. No prostate exams.
It's a $75 cash prize.
You're gonna lose a watch. If you ever wonder why Jay is ticking when he's walking past you, you know why.
You know, you got to be careful too when your doctor licks his fingers before the prostate exam,
or when he's got both of them on your shoulders.
And that's where we're going, ladies and gentlemen. Welcome to the pit. See, this is the part of the show that's my favorite, when we're just we've gotten comfortable enough and we're all talking.
Oh, just shitting on Jay. That's my favorite part. Just the shit on Jay. The shit on Jay portion of the show.
Oh, Jay, you're the only guy that can put his both hands on somebody's shoulder, and the guy will never feel a thing. Okay, so
see, another baseless attack.
Don't worry, Jay. You'll be treated all right at my show. I won't give in to this stuff.
I hope so.
And you won't have to edit anything. Don't worry.
I've been hurt before.
You're gonna be part of the tent out front, giving exams to everybody coming in.
He's been hurt before, but now he's
Mark is always thinking
anymore.
I got to get Mark a cheeseburger, like a grilled cheese.
No, the macaroni.
Have a Jesus talk after this.
You gotta get Mark Korean chicken.
That chicken was awesome. But there was this. I had the best chicken with Phil.
He's still talking about the chicken.
It was a great chicken. Did you not like the chicken, Charlie?
I loved it, but you know what I can't stand? You annihilate food. You have the macaroni and cheeseburger. You have the chicken. You're like a freaking.
I hate that shit. Out of the indie show, I always see you guys eating all the time.
You
don't see Marco throw up in the bathroom afterwards. That's why.
I had one better than the macaroni and cheeseburger.
What Mark actually told me was he's skinny because he's got to carry all of you on the show.
Oh.
God
damn. I had a better burger than the macaroni and cheeseburger.
See how he ignores that?
It was a macaroni and cheese stuffed cheeseburger.
Wow.
Where? Mark is ignoring everything.
This was by
where, Mark?
The 59th Street Bridge in Queens. They actually supposedly have the best burger ever. That's what they're famous for. This little hole in the wall. And they made a macaroni and cheese stuffed macaroni and cheeseburger.
Yeah, I've seen that. The disc, yeah, I've seen that.
The flavors when they drop it on the floor.
Yeah.
All right. We've picked on Jay long enough in public.
All right. Well, I'm gonna bow out, gentlemen, because I need to eat.
All right. Angel,
I promise you, I'll look and see what I can do, and I'll reach out.
As you're bowing out, tell everybody where they can find you.
So you can find me on Instagram, Twitter, Facebook at The Son of a Saint, or Saint by Design, The Art of Son of a Saint. And you'll catch me here with Peat and Atra. So in case you lose this information, and stay tuned because we're gonna get started on these 11 rounds of When Worlds Collide with the written Raph here doing the backstories of the art pieces.
Thank you, sir. Now, Raph, since he gave you that wonderful kickback there, I'm sure he charged for it. I'm sure. Where can everybody find you and your writing and the Bitten Apple?
I am Written Writ Ralph. You look up Written Writ Ralph, you will find me, or you can look at Bitten Apple TV, The Bitten Apple. We are on Instagram, YouTube. Our Facebook page is where most of the action happens. So look for us there and you will find us. And the one last thing I have to say is I love our partnership with It Came From the Radio. It's been one of the best things in the world.
Ditto.
And I think the community should do more working together, and they will help each other out better.
Agreed.
Ditto. Thank
Absolutely.
you.
Now, Phil, I know you're tired. You were just on for a couple hours. Where can everybody find you and your event and your Q&A show?
Oh God, I gotta remember now. Shit. Instagram is CreatorCon event. Facebook is the same thing. Then there's my regular page, Philip Russert on Facebook and Instagram. And then SuffolkComicAndArtExpo.com and CreatorConEvent.com.
Fantabulous. Charlie Saladino,
Hey,
senior correspondent.
as always, it came from the radio. And again, I just love our collaboration with the Bitten Apple, and great people, all of them. And I also, Mark will give you all the information about It Came from the Radio. I also produce another show, the Kate Fox Show, which you can find on Facebook. And that's about it. And then I'm just making noise on other people's show. That's all.
That's what I do in life. That's what I do in life, Charlie, so don't worry about it. Mr. Mark Torres, what's going on? Where can we find you and your cheeseburger and gambling antics?
As I mentioned, we are on an actual radio station, 88.1 WARY in Westchester County. We are on an online, that actually airs us every Monday through Friday, multiple times every weekday night. We have the online radio station at btdradio.com. That's every 4 o'clock on Thursdays. We have a new show released every Monday on all the podcast places. I think we're up to 27. I used to list them off, but I haven't done that in 6 months, so I don't remember them right now. But just Facebook, Instagram, Twitter, not so much Instagram, but Facebook is where I usually am, Twitter, or just www.itcamefromradio.com.
And I remember from scheduling this, next week, It Came From the Radio will be live.
Yes, we have our live show, which is a courtesy of the East Meadow Public Library. That's eastmeadow.info. Eastmeadow.info. You can go on there and you can register for our live show, which we do once a month. And we have artist Francesco, is a good friend of mine. He's a cover artist. He is most famous for doing Savage She-Dragon. But you can register on that. You can join us on Zoom once a month. And that is at 7 p.m. on usually the second Wednesday of every month.
Now, just to let everybody know, I actually want to check this out. So next week there will be no pit because we're all going to be listening and watching the It Came From the Radio live special next October 14th. All right, everybody? All right. So the pit will be back October 21st. Jay, Atra, where can we find you and where can people sign up for their prostate exam?
You can find see, this is hurtful. You can find me.
The prostate exams are very hurtful.
It makes it extra painful.
Right there, @Atramessa_art. Twitter, Facebook is just @Atramessa. And also make sure you subscribe on the Twitch and the YouTube. Just search up Atramessa. I'm doing a giveaway once I hit 100 on YouTube and 50 on Twitch, and you can win some free stuff. Courtesy of some of my partners. So make sure you do that. And I'm always live and stuff like that. Tomorrow you'll see my new setup, so it'll be a lot more fun.
Skynet will be alive.
And don't forget his OnlyFans and his Pornhub channel.
We don't talk about my OnlyFans.
That's only for his fans.
I talk about my
OnlyFans.
I talk about my OnlyFans, and I'll be debuting that right. I'll be debuting that right after the It Came From the Radio show. It's going to be fantastic, and hopefully pay my mortgage. So, but for real though, thank you everybody for hanging out. Of course, most of you are on Twitch, twitch.tv/Peat11717. That's where you can find us. That's where you can find me live drawing, and that's where you can find backups of this show if you've missed anything. And really, if you've missed episodes of The Pit, you either need to go check them out on my Twitch, or if Twitch isn't your thing, I understand for some of us, It's not. For me, it is, but whatever. You could go to YouTube. Yes, Pokey the Chicken. Yes, rubber chickens were a thing for me when I came up with that URL. But at least I don't have to have that long-ass URL with all sorts of question marks and Klingon shit on it. I can have a normal URL. If you can give me a follow on Twitch or YouTube, that would be great so I can change everything. Because yes, I'm sharing myself, Jay. Sorry, I like to whore myself. I'm sorry.
No. You know what that middle finger was for.
Because my OnlyFans is gonna be better than yours. That's why.
Because of my 45 character YouTube link right now.
That's exactly what it used. It looks like Klingon code for go fuck yourself is what it looks like. Jesus, dude. But yeah, folks, if you want to find episodes of The Pit, that's where you can find them. But I want to say to everybody, first off, to everybody who watched, thank you. We do this for you guys. We do this so you can get different eyes on different people. So please, if you can't watch us live, that's cool. Watch the replays. The replays are great. And if you haven't seen it, Jay and Angel were here since the beginning. They will tell you that at the very least, you need to check out the last two. Because those, you're going to need some time. Do it on the long one.
The Angel wasn't on. It was great.
Yeah, that was the best one. That was the best.
Every episode, hands down.
Every episode was dope. But
it was just something about that one show that was just so good. I don't know what it is. But
you didn't have me here to every fucking word.
That one show is so good.
Anyway, folks, thank you for watching. We appreciate it. Charlie, Raph, Phil, Mark, thank you guys so much for being here. It was absolutely exactly what I wanted, and it surpassed every expectation I have. I really appreciate it. Jay, Angel, you're my homies for a reason. Ride or die, you know how it goes, even though, Jay, but that's okay. All right.
See? Just nonstop attacks.
I love you guys. Thank you all very much. Again, next week, No Pit. We'll be back the 21st with some surprise guests. You won't believe it. It's going to be pretty cool. And we'll debut the links for the OnlyFans. So we'll talk to you guys later. Thank you, everybody.
Thanks,
Thank you.